Oh,
That's great.
all right. Hey,
Hey, good
Facebook.
morning, everybody. How we doing?
We're live.
David, good morning.
Good morning, Chris. I'm going to put in the station and we're going to get going here, okay?
All right, sounds good.
Cool.
It's the help they need to keep going. Tell Senator Peters to vote for tax relief for small businesses and put Michigan jobs first. Paid for by One Nation, onenationamerica.org.
The Frank Beckmann Show, News Talk 760 WJR. Now in for Frank, here's Chris Renwick.
And welcome into you. Happy Friday. Chris Renwick in for Frank Beckmann. And look, night 4 of the DNC convention in the books. And we finally got to hear from the man of the hour, Joe Biden. And it was another kind of bizarre night. We had a much bigger emphasis on, first of all, a much bigger emphasis on the candidates who didn't even make it to that point. Did you see the Hollywood Square game show a portion of the night when Cory Booker was moderating a little Q&A with the other candidates? What was that? You had everybody there. Andrew Yang was in attendance, Amy Klobuchar, Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren, Pete Buttigieg, the whole gang. I thought that was one of the most bizarre moments of the night. We even had a surprise guest appearance by our Secretary of State, Jocelyn Benson, who says it's the Secretary of State's responsibility to make sure our elections are secure. Uh-oh. We've got a story today out of Detroit that we'll talk about a little later on. That how secure they are, I don't know. There was a nice tribute to John Lewis. And you had the conversations with citizens who says Trump is sabotaging the post office and subverting votes. We got to check in with Senator Tammy Baldwin on health care, the senator from Wisconsin. We also had another Michigan connection last night. In World War II veteran Ed Good, who's from Farmington Hills, spoke and said he voted for Donald Trump in 2016, but he will vote for Joe Biden in this go-around. Tammy Ducksworth also made an appearance, who called Trump the coward in chief. And look, the list went on. But of course, the man of the hour was Joe Biden, who made his speech last night. And it appears as though he did it live. But the interesting thing that I found last night, and look, and Paul and I kind of hit on it a little bit ago. They had a stage set up outside where people were crowding the streets, wherever they were, and waiting for Joe Biden to walk out and greet them on stage. And I thought it was so bizarre because you've got live people outside in their masks. Now, I'm not saying they need to be, pumping the horn and, with their hazard lights on like they had. It was a big party out there. Why didn't Joe Biden give the speech in front of the people? It was very bizarre. And Joe Paul W. said it just a couple minutes ago. They didn't even give him a mic when he was out there. Hey, everybody. Thanks for coming out. We're looking forward to November. I mean, none of that. It was just a bunch of waving until some fireworks went off in the background. We did get a little bit of some sort of policy talk last night. Joe Biden talked about what he'll do on day one when he gets into the Oval Office. He'll deploy rapid tests and make them in America so that we're not at the mercy of China anymore. Okay. I think everybody can get on board with that. He's going to end loopholes and $1.3 trillion in tax giveaways to major corporations. And he'll be able to fund things like his climate change or his clean energy jobs. He'll work with climate work. I mean, look, the talking points weren't necessarily surprising. He never mentioned Donald Trump by name, but he certainly referenced him. And it was, I thought, Joe Biden's best performance. It was Joe Biden's best outing in front of a microphone. Now, I don't know if he has spent all of his time in his basement memorizing this and going over it and going over it and going over it. But now I'm curious to know how he gets out into the media, how he's going to answer questions. It was a strange night. It felt like it kind of drug along. Also, we got some audio from Hunter Biden made an appearance. I saw people on the like Twitter and Facebook and social media were not shocked. Shocked isn't the right word, but certainly some things that you wouldn't expect to see. It was a little bit of a surprise, I'd say. Talked a lot about COVID, getting it under control. Talked about child care and elder care. Labor unions who built the middle class. I mean, it was all pretty much Democratic speak. And again, I'm wondering what you thought about it if you did watch it. But I thought it was kind of boring. I mean, up until Joe Biden's actual speech. And let me throw this out there to you as well. There's a new poll out by Rasmussen who says 1 in 5 voters say a convention has changed their mind. The online survey finds that 19% of likely U.S. voters have changed the way they were going to vote after watching a national political convention. So my question to you is, if you are on the fringe, if you're a moderate, did this one do it? Have you ever been swayed by a convention? 800-859-0957, 800-859-0WJR, the number for you to call or text. We're live on Facebook and on YouTube. Chris Renwick in for Frank Beckmann at 9:13. Let's head on out to the roadways and check things out with Dana Clark.
This report is sponsored by Everstream, the business-only fiber network.
At Everstream, the business-only fiber network, we believe business deserves better. Everstream's full-service approach to business connectivity delivers the speed and reliability that businesses demand. Everstream, faster fiber, better business.
696 westbound at Coolidge, a disabled vehicle is reported on that exit. Also a disabled vehicle 94 eastbound after Woodward. It is blocking the left lane. Now WJR weather first from the Weather Channel.
We'll continue with good stuff as high pressure's in. Guess what? The sun is back. Sunshine today, and after another cool start, make it up to a little warmer, 86. Tonight clear 63. Over the weekend, warmer, back to August. Clouds and sunshine, highs in the upper 80s. Next chance of thunderstorms Monday. From the Weather Channel, meteorologist Ray Staging on News Talk 760 WJR.
So, Chris, how late were you up there last night?
Till about 1. Yeah, till about 1. Clay, good morning. Jim, Todd, Patrick, good morning to everybody. Maria, hey, how you doing? Yeah, it was probably about 1. I mean, it's no big deal. But it was just an interesting night. I thought Julia Louis-Dreyfus was, I thought she was okay. She was, taking her jabs and her jokes and stuff. They did this thing early with Andrew Yang, like to start the thing up. What is with Andrew Yang? Can we first talk about that? What is with why is he still lingering around? Anyway,
Ben, he's just, he's just like a bad penny. He just keeps showing up.
Apparently. they did this whole bit where they couldn't pronounce Pence's last name. Right, and it was a take on people not being able to say Kamala.
Okay, you were right about Biden's speech. No policy stuff.
No, very little. I mean, there was a little bit in there. There was a little more,
but
than
not
even I expected.
Yeah. I thought it was kind of interesting. I thought it was it was a little weird, but interesting at the same time. I thought the same thing about Julia Louis-Dreyfus. She's very excited. But especially, did you see her before she announced Biden coming on? She was just very like, oh, this is the way. This is going to be the way that the United States should be, and president, honesty and all that. It was very interesting. And then I also thought that Steph Curry and his wife and their kids was kind of funny, actually. That little bit that they did. So it was interesting.
That's awesome. I never get sick of winning. I'm with you, though I am worried about this favored nation idea. The one where our country installs socialist price controls directly from.
I see that you got the memo to wear orange shirt today too.
Yes.
Very good.
Yeah, it's kind of an orangish red.
Yeah, little. Yeah. Very good. Other than that, so now it's done. So now we get ready for the Republicans.
Yep, Republicans are coming up, I think, Monday.
I think so. I was actually watching, also switching off between that and the replay from the Northern Trust from earlier in the day.
Okay.
Because Tiger played pretty well. So
yeah.
And then the Tigers unfortunately lost their 9th game 9-0 yesterday.
1 minute.
Yes, they did. Yep.
So. All right, we're coming back.
Okay.
That could be a problem too. With COVID on the scene, you might need more in cash than before. Maybe you need to reduce your market risk as well. Are you sure your portfolio is COVID ready? Call us at Edelman Financial Engines and let's review your investments and your entire financial situation and see if you're in good shape as this crisis continues. It's not the time to go it alone. Call us at 888-PLAN-RIC. Talk with one of my colleagues here at Edelman Financial Engines. We'll review your portfolio and make sure you're ready for what comes next. And we'll help you get through this crisis just like we've helped clients get through every crisis for the past 35 years. Call us at 888-PLAN-RIC. That's 888-PLAN-RIC. Online at ricedelman.com.
The Frank Beckmann Show. News Talk 760 WJR. Now in for Frank, here's Chris Renwick.
800-859-0957, 800-859-0WJR, the number for you to call or text. We also got an appearance from Mike Bloomberg last night, who says you shouldn't vote for Trump because he's a bad guy. You shouldn't vote for him because he's done a bad job. And when Trump says he's going to make America great again, he's actually making a good case for Joe Biden. But look, I thought Joe Biden was really good last night. I mean, I think that's as good as you're going to get Joe Biden. I was surprised. I didn't think he was capable of it. But I thought he did a nice job and much better than expected. And he said, look, this isn't a partisan movement. This campaign isn't about winning the heart and soul, this campaign is about winning the heart and soul of America and not just votes. Dealing with 4 historic crises at the moment: the pandemic, the economic crash, racial injustice, and climate change. And he said, look, just judge President Donald Trump on the numbers, on the facts. Over 5.5 million people tested positive for COVID-19. Over 170,000 people have died. And if Trump is given 4 more years, he'll take no responsibility and fan the flames of hate and division. So again, the contents of the speech, questionable. He did give some policy. He did talk about how he'd pay for his new green jobs. And it would be by taxing, it would be by eliminating loopholes and specifically removing the tax that Donald Trump has put in to help major corporations or whatever. Okay. But there was a little bit of policy, so I give him some credit. Meanwhile, look, the president has been one to say that mail-in voting in mass can lead to some sort of fraud, hijinks in our election outcomes. And we get news this morning out of the Detroit News and Craig Mauger that canvassers are demanding answers after 72% of Detroit's absentee ballot counts were off. Record ballot counts in 72% of Detroit's absentee voting precincts didn't match the number of ballots cast, spurring officials in Michigan's largest county to ask the state to investigate. The Board of Canvassers requested Secretary of State Jocelyn Benson's office to examine the, quote, training and processes used in Detroit's August 4th primary. In 46% of all Detroit precincts, both in absentee and on election day, vote counts were out of balance. Specifically, the number of ballots tracked in precinct poll books, which did not match the number of ballots counted. Now, Jonathan Kinlock, who we've had on this show a number of times, a member of the Canvassers Board, a Democrat, says it was a perfect storm. And he called the storm, which involved the record number of absentee ballots being cast in Michigan's primary and seasoned election workers not feeling safe to help with administering the election because of COVID-19. Mayor Mike Duggan has spoken out and said he's reaching out to Benson and Janice Winfrey, the city clerk, to make sure this gets fixed immediately. We cannot have a reoccurrence of these problems in November. So, again, is it possible that this can go off without a hitch? I suppose. But when we've never had to deal with this type of absentee ballot volume, it feels that this is something that could happen not just in Detroit, not just in Michigan, but all over the country. 800-859-0957. Let's go to Troy and Al. Good morning, Al.
Hi.
Hey.
I just wanted to comment on Mr. Biden's policies.
Sure.
He wants to roll back the tax breaks that corporations are getting, and he wants to so-called bring manufacturing back to the U.S., medical devices and everything I see in his TV ads. Well, newsflash, those two things don't work together, and that's why corporations took jobs overseas, is because they got taxed too much.
That's exactly right. And because it's cheaper for them to make it elsewhere. Now,
yep, exactly.
Now, again, look, I'm in favor of that. Bring them back. Let's do it. Let's bring all that stuff back. Bring all those PPE manufacturing jobs that you've outsourced to China and bring them in here. I completely agree. But then where do you give?
Yep.
Because there's got to be some give there.
Yeah, history's already shown us when you raise the taxes on corporations, the jobs are going to leave.
Absolutely. And think of it like this, right? He's talked about raising minimum wage to $15 an hour. And while companies will be able to absorb some of that, like large corporations, they will hire less people and require more of their employees. That's just the facts of the matter. And then you take it down to a smaller level, to your local business, to a small business. I mean, heck, even if you own a McDonald's, you're paying people $15 an hour to work 40 hours a week, but you're going to essentially, you're going to cut the number of workforce in half.
You're going to start an inflationary cycle.
Absolutely.
Because everything that those $15 an hour wages are making or producing or servicing, the cost of those goods and services are going to go up.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody else that's got to buy them is going to have higher wages. All it does is causes, it's an inflationary cycle. It's not going to solve anything.
Yep, it's a great point, Al. Hey, I appreciate the call, my friend. Thank you. 800-859-0957 to Northville and Vince. Good morning, Vince.
Morning. How are you, sir?
Good. What's going on?
Hey, I want to give you and everybody a warning out there on the radio. We got to quit getting cocky with this election. Okay, I realize, you're dealing with Joe Biden. The man is ill. Okay, the man has an illness. Okay, and that's obvious. Okay, we all know what Joe Biden is about. But what you've got to put into perspective is when you start putting emotion in place of common sense and start pounding your chest like we're just going to wipe this election, we're going to get our butt handed to us because history proves that. So we all know who we support. Okay, for obvious reasons. Okay. But as a contractor, I'm in 200 households a year. Okay, I'm dealing with family dynamics where a lot of people aren't. You go to a job, you come home. You really don't deal with the public like I do. And I'm telling you, okay, when you've got a person on stage offering free stuff, healthcare, the whole 9 yards, and you've got these kids that have been looking at their parents getting cars bought for them, they get money for spring break, they just get on a plane, they go down there, and all this happens, that's all free?
Correct.
Guess what? Now you got an old man on stage saying he's going to do the same thing in your adulthood.
Well, Vince, look, it's certainly not a time to spike the football. There's no doubt about it. And look, if anything, the 2016 election goes to show it. Hillary Clinton spiked the football way too early. And I don't think anybody's doing that here. But with that being said, it's a time to have these conversations now as we are in the middle of August. 800-859-0957, 800-859-0WJR, the number for you to call or text. We're live on Facebook and on YouTube, so you can watch the show there. But at 9:27, out to the roadways we go, and we'll check it out there with Dana Clark.
This report is sponsored by Indeed.com. If the next step for your business is finding a high-impact hire, try Indeed. Their flexible payment options mean better bang for your buck with no long-term contracts. Indeed will even give you a $75 credit for your first job post at Indeed.com/high-impact. Terms and conditions apply.
One disabled vehicle down, one to go. 696 westbound at Coolidge. Earlier incident, that disabled vehicle has been cleared from that exit, but in Detroit 94 eastbound after Woodward, disabled vehicle blocks the left lane. Now, WJR weather first from the Weather Channel, sponsored by the Generous Pour event at the Capitol Grill. WJR wine lovers, our friends at the Capitol Grill, are excited to announce this year's Generous Pour for just $28 with dinner. You'll enjoy 7 remarkable varietals from Orange Swift winemaker Dave Finney, Wine Enthusiast Winemaker of the Year. Call 248-649-5300 or visit thecapitolgrill.com. Great weekend, lots of sunshine, hotter each and every day. Today, sun 87. Tonight, clear skies, low 66. Saturday, sunshine and a high of 88. We hit 89 on Sunday. Sunshine, some clouds, and could see an afternoon or evening thunderstorm or shower possible. Sunshine, 70 degrees. I'm Dana Clark, WJR News with Dick Hapner in about 2 minutes.
It could be a routine drive to pick up the kids after school or an epic road trip across the country. No matter where your travels take you, we know those miles count. We're Marathon. We have over 5,700 stations across our great nation. Our people are working hard every day to provide you with quality top-tier gasoline to improve engine performance and fuel your life. Marathon, fueling the American spirit.
Buddy's Pizza, the originators of Detroit-style pizza, is in search of new buddies. We're hiring for all positions at all locations. Join the original Detroit-style crew today. Earn up to $20 an hour with tips in a safe and fun workplace. Apply now at buddiespizza.com.
If you're currently hiring, you face new difficulties. Housing Wire could relate. They needed to hire a reporter, so they turned to ZipRecruiter and found Alexandra Roja. ZipRecruiter matched Alexandra to Housing Wire's reporter job because she was a great fit for the role. Housing Wire received her application only 4 hours after they posted the job, and just a few weeks later, Alexandra was hired.
See how ZipRecruiter can help you hire. Try it now for free at ZipRecruiter.com/search. That's ZipRecruiter.com/search.
Detroit wakes up with Paul W. Smith on News Talk 760 WJR.
Vice President Mike Pence launching the Republican counterattack to the Democrats' nomination convention.
It was amazing to see the Democrats this week painting such a grim picture of America, but all along the way, they never mentioned the violence that's tearing apart and claiming lives in cities around the country. And remarkably, Joe Biden last night never mentioned China.
Pence defends the president's handling of the pandemic, including hopes for a vaccine.
We think there is a miracle around the corner because the president called on pharmaceutical companies. We believe it's very likely that we'll have one or more vaccines for the coronavirus before the end of this year. All of that's a tribute to President Trump's leadership.
Postmaster General Louis DeJoy will testify before a Senate committee today. It's led by Republicans. This will be DeJoy's first chance to publicly address the accusations that changes that he has made at the post office imperil mail-in voting. Here's more from John Lawrence.
Democratic Senator Chris Coons tells the Washington Post he's unhappy with the changes Postmaster General Louis DeJoy has made. Those include removing letter sorters and ending overtime pay.
The point about the machinery being out exposed to the elements is how difficult it will be to reverse what he's done.
Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell says the post office remains vital.
We're not going to let it go under.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
There are more voting problems in Detroit. The Wayne County Board of Canvassers says there are discrepancies in the counting of absentee ballots in the city of Detroit during the August primary. The board says 72% of the precincts had an inaccurate count because of confusion. The Board of Canvassers is asking the Secretary of State, Jocelyn Benson, to investigate the training and processes used in the Detroit clerk's office. The Michigan Fitness Club Association says their gyms should be open. The gym owners are asking the governor to allow them to reopen. Ed Eichhoff has a company that owns 44 Planet Fitness centers. He says they don't understand why they're still closed.
We are membership-based compared to all of the other businesses that are allowed to be open in the state of Michigan. We know when our members come in, how long we're there, and should an incident happen, we have the ability to do contact tracing hands down.
Eichhoff says their association has a number of events planned, including today, to publicize their position. Whitmer has indicated she might do something about more business openings as soon as next week. Michigan health officials report there are 14 coronavirus outbreaks at K-12 schools and universities. They do not specify which schools were affected. The Michigan Court of Appeals is under a mandate from the Michigan Supreme Court to, by today, decide whether it will uphold Governor Whitmer's unilateral powers in dealing with the pandemic. The House and the Senate, controlled by the GOP, had challenged her actions, saying they were unconstitutional. There are still issues to be worked out in the settlement of lawsuits with the state of Michigan arising out of the Flint water emergency. The funds for payment of the settlement are expected to require appropriations by the state legislature, along with the approval of several judges who were involved in lawsuits. The state has announced that it'll pay $600 million out to numerous people harmed by the emergency. A couple of potential hurricanes are churning toward the U.S. One of the tropical depressions, which is called number 13, might bring some severe weather to Florida and parts of the Gulf of Mexico in the coming days. The Wall Street session is underway, and the S&P 500 index is down 2 points. I'm Dick Hafner, WJR News. More coming up with Chris Renwick.
This is Mike Donovan, host of Not Free America on Sundays at 5 p.m., right here on WJR AM 760 in Detroit. This weekend on Not Free America Radio, economic disaster looms as our GDP crashes. What does losing a third of our economy really mean? Meanwhile, New York Governor Andrew Cuomo takes quarantining travelers to a new extreme. And we talk facts about qualified immunity in the American police state. Join us Sundays at 5 p.m. right here on Not Free America Radio.
When you're stressed, you just don't feel like yourself. New Natrol Relaxia, a full line of drug-free supplements to help you manage occasional stress and anxiety. A special blend of herbals keeps you feeling calm and balanced throughout the day. Because when there's less stress, there's more you. Try new Natrol Relaxia. Learn more at relaxiamood.com. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Know your risk factor for heart attack and stroke. Tune in Sundays at 3 to News Talk 760 WJR to hear about the latest diagnostic technology from Dr. Brian Collender.
Buddy's Pizza, the originators of Detroit-style pizza, is in search of new buddies. We're hiring for all positions at all locations. Join the original Detroit-style crew today. Earn up to $20 an hour with tips in a safe and fun workplace. Apply now at buddyspizza.com.
The Frank Beckmann Show, News Talk 760 WJR. Now in for Frank, here's Chris Renwick.
All right, we'll get some more of your calls on the convention last night, on Joe Biden, coming up here in just a minute. 800-859-0957, 800-859-0WJR. I want to bring you a really, look, it's an awesome story. And look, Frank is such a supporter of veterans all across the country, but in our community specifically. And we feel very strongly about that on this show. And if you remember, last year or maybe the year before, we introduced you to look, he's a superhero, and he was a member of the Hometown Heroes on our Detroit Lions broadcast. And his name is Lieutenant Colonel Donald Odell, or better known as Digger Odell. He was a fighter pilot. He got shot down in Vietnam and was a POW for 5.5 years. And able to make it out of it. His story is incredible. A broken neck, beaten by a village of the Vietnamese. And just a strong-willed soldier of the United States, and he was able to make it out of that. And recently, of course, Digger Odell is he's, look, as a POW, your body starts to break down. He's an older man now. And one of the things in his life that he loves is to watch the sunset at his house. And he's had a much more difficult time making it out to his waterfront property to watch the sunset. And he missed one. He was very upset about it. And a group of veterans, military, Team Honor. And Team Honor is responsible for various events around our area. They raise awareness for Gold and Blue Star families. And look, they're just a bunch of people who care deeply for our veterans. So Team Honor got wind that Digger Odell needed essentially a ramp because he's moving around in a wheelchair a little bit more, and he couldn't get out there. So they heard that he needed a ramp. In one day, Joe Forlines, the president and founder of Team Honor, got word of this at about 1:30 in the afternoon. In that same day, he cobbled together a couple of other Marines and went to the store, picked up all their supplies, their wood, their screws, everything, went to Digger's home and built him a brand new ramp to go out to his property so he could watch the sunset. And Joe Forlines joins us this morning here on the Frank Beckmann Show. Joe, good morning to you.
Hey, good morning, Chris. How are you this morning?
I'm terrific. Thanks for taking some time with us. Look, it's an unbelievable story because first, I'd love to know how you got wind of this. How did you hear that Digger needed this ramp, and then just kind of what did you guys do?
Well, it's crazy. I was in the middle of just my typical work week. I'm typically a traveling sales rep that covers multiple states, but now I'm working at home since March, and I got a call right around 1:30 by one of my teammates who spends a lot of time with Mr. Beckmann as well, Ronnie Cyrus, who's involved with the Michigan Heroes Museum. Actually, Chris, you and I met last year on Veterans Day.
Yes.
I was invited up to talk with her.
Yes.
But Ronnie called me in the middle of the day and said, listen, I got a call from Susie Odell, wanting to see if maybe he had some influence with the VA to get this ramp built for Digger. And Ronnie reached out to me and asked me if it was something that I might be able to do or help out with or know a guy that could help. And the stars just aligned perfectly. And actually, it was myself and another board member that I reached out to, Jennifer Merritt, who's also a United States Marine. And we reached out to 2 other individuals that were civilians, Joe Purcell and a David Wagner, who runs a company called The Grout Doctor. And this, like I said, Chris, the stars just aligned perfectly. We were I think by 4 o'clock, we were at Home Depot getting the materials. And I think before 6 p.m., we were out at Digger's house. Digger's son, Dave, was out there helping. And his next door neighbor, Bjorn, had a small diagram of what he thought we would want to build for him. And by 11 o'clock at night, we screwed in our last screw into what looked like a perfect ramp that they could wheel him up on to get up onto that deck, or to be able to walk up himself. And I was told the next day by Susie, Digger's wife, that Digger actually got up and got on his walker and walked across it himself with some assistance. People were around him, but it just was so motivating to hear that, because for us, it's not necessarily what our core competency is at Team Honor, building things.
Sure.
We like to help people. It's that rising tide mentality that we try to employ. And it's, we're a group made up of veterans, Gold and Blue Star family members, and just good people who want to do good things for others.
Well, we're so happy you were able to do that. And look, the VA is so important to our veterans and our veterans' families, but they're not perfect, and we know that. And the VA said, look, they'd be happy to come out and help with this, but it could be 6 months. And I know you. I
just didn't want Digger to miss another sunset. To your point, it was we knew we could do this. We knew we could do better. So let's do this, and let's give Digger every sunset that we can possibly give him, and every sunrise, because he deserves it, and everyone deserves that. Well,
Joe, you're the man, and the people that you helped bring, the brought out and helped Digger with this. It's just so appreciated, and it's just in this time, we're looking for anything good. We're looking for anything good that we can relay to people, and we're so happy you're able to share the story with us this morning. Thank you so much. We appreciate the time.
That's great. We appreciate it. Can we tell people how they might be able to find us?
Absolutely. Yes, please.
So thanks for that. By the way, so you can find us out there at www.teamhonor.org. We've got some basic information out there. You've got the ability to make donations to Team Honor. We also have a store. We've got some great gear out there. We've got a Vietnam vet that cuts stars out of flags that come in from the Michigan Heroes Museum. We put those on our baseball hats. And so when we're out at sporting events, whether it's a bike ride or a mutter, we can be seen, or we can show our support out there. But you can also go to our Facebook page that has a lot of our more up-to-date information out there. And one other plug, if I could put it in, I know that this next Saturday, August 29th, Avery's Tavern in Rochester Hills is hosting a pig roast, and they're giving their ticket proceeds to Team Honor.
Oh, awesome. All right, so for all that and more, go to teamhonor.org. Joe Forlines, president and founder of Team Honor, thank you so much. We appreciate it, and a job well done.
Thanks, Chris, and thanks to everyone out there.
Yep, you got it. All right, 9:43 off to the roadways we go with Dana Clark.
Earlier, disabled vehicle 94 eastbound after Woodward. That vehicle has been cleared from that area. Heads up once again tonight, 94 eastbound. A reminder about construction between Gratiot and 696, 8 p.m. All lanes will shut down until 5 a.m. on Monday. Now, WJR weather first from the Weather Channel, sponsored by Marathon. No matter where your travels take you, Marathon can improve your engine performance with quality top-tier gasoline. Marathon, fueling the American spirit.
I've been in the good stuff, and it continues as we head through today. Gorgeous sunshine out there, 86 the daytime high. Another very pleasant morning. Tonight, clear 63. Outlying areas will be a little cooler naturally. Saturday and Sunday, plenty of sun into the upper 80s. Maybe a thunderstorm around by Monday. From the Weather Channel, meteorologist Ray Stage on News Talk 760 WJR.
Thanks for calling the Complete Battery Source.
This is probably a long shot, but you guys carry a battery for my boat?
Yep, got that.
But you didn't even hear what kind of boat I have.
Don't need to. We're your Complete Battery Source, where the answer is pretty much always, yep, got that.
But what if I want a battery for my motorcycle?
Yep, got that.
I haven't been able to find a battery anywhere for my...
I got that, too. Look, Complete Battery Source has batteries for everything that uses batteries, and we stock batteries for virtually any boat, for personal watercraft and runabouts, to great big luxury motor yachts, and motorcycles, too. Why, we stock batteries to fit every bike, from little scooters to great big performance and touring bikes.
Well, that sounds great. Sounds like Complete Battery Source is the place to power up all my summer toys.
That's right. All you got to do is come into any one of the 7 Complete Battery Source locations located in Ann Arbor, Brighton, Southfield, Ypsilanti, Okemos, Fenton, and Houghton Lake. You can call us toll free at 877-ALL-BATS or just click on yepgotthat.com. 7 locations. Now you got that?
Yep, got that.
Recently, WJR filmed a very informative webinar with me and my local expert friends at Senior Health Medicare. Guy Gordon here, and now is the time to learn and save when it comes to your Medicare needs. This webinar is a WJR must-see. All you need to do is visit mymedicareuniversity.com. As you view the webinar, you can live chat throughout in real time with an advisor from Senior Health Medicare. So visit mymedicareuniversity.com to view our must-see free webinar or call 248-230-8595 for consultation. I can tell you thousands of WJR seniors have benefited from our trusted local experts at Senior Health Medicare. And I am so confident this webinar will guide you through the confusing Medicare maze that confronts all of us. Annual election period is fast approaching, so do not wait. Get informed and receive your local guidance today. Visit mymedicareuniversity.com to view our free webinar anytime or call 248-230-8595. Senior Health Medicare, trusted local experts.
8 conservative judges confirmed today.
That's awesome. I never get sick of winning.
I'm with you, though I am worried about this favored nation idea.
The one where our country installs socialist price controls?
Directly from countries with socialized medicine. Their policies will mean fewer new cures, less access to treatments, and lost jobs for Americans.
Gotta believe our guy will back us out of that. He puts America first.
Paid for by Americans for Tax Reform. Visit nopricecontrols.org.
Thanks for calling the Complete Battery Source.
This is probably a long shot, but you guys carry a battery for my boat?
Yep, got that.
But you didn't even hear what kind of boat I have.
Don't need to. We're your Complete Battery Source, where the answer is pretty much always, yep, got that.
But what if I want a battery for my motorcycle?
Yep, got that.
I haven't been able to find a battery anywhere for my...
I got that, too. Look, Complete Battery Source has batteries for everything that uses batteries, and we stock batteries for virtual any boat, for personal watercraft and runabouts, to great big luxury motor yachts, and motorcycles, too. Why, we stock batteries to fit every bike, from little scooters to great big performance and touring bikes.
Well, that sounds great. Sounds like Complete Battery Source is the place to power up all my summer toys.
That's right. All you got to do is come into any one of the 7 Complete Battery Source locations located in Ann Arbor, Brighton, Southfield, Ypsilanti, Okemos, Fenton, and Houghton Lake. You can call us toll free at 877-ALL-BATS or just click on yepgotthat.com. 7 locations. Now you got that?
Yep, got that.
The Frank Beckmann Show, News Talk 760 WJR. Now in for Frank, here's Chris Renwick.
800-859-0957, 800-859-0WJR, the number for you to call and text. We're also live on Facebook, so you can watch the show there. All right, back to the phones we go. Let's go to Larry from Amherstburg, Ontario. Good morning, Larry.
Good morning, Chris.
Hey.
I wonder, do we have any assurance that Joe Biden read his speech live last night, or could he have taped it a half an hour, 2 hours before, and then they play it when they know it's right, and then he walks out from behind that wall to a live audience? Do we have any assurance that it was actually read live?
No, and Larry, that's a good point, but that's why I keep saying it appeared that he read it live. Because
it certainly did.
If you noticed, Larry, and did you watch?
I did.
Okay, so when there was a live speaker, they would have the live disclaimer there, right? So like when Pete Buttigieg was speaking from South Bend, Indiana, they had live in the corner of the screen, and I made sure to look for that during Joe Biden's speech, and I never saw it. So I'm not 100% sure, and I'm not 100% sure that he read it live. It appeared he did, but I don't know for sure.
They made it appear he did. We don't know if he did. One other thing to add to that evidence, that your notice of the absence of the live tag on there, is that during Harris's speech the night before, they showed that in the audience in front of her were spaced out people sitting on chairs.
Yes, they were reporters.
They never showed the audience last night with Biden. You did see over on the side a couple people who looked like workers moving at the side of the stage, so to speak. As well then, At the end of Biden's speech last night, a PBS in studio person said that he gave the speech to no one in the audience except a few reporters. However, we've heard from no reporter who was in the audience. They went outside to speak to a reporter of theirs.
So I'll read you this. This is from the New York Post. Joe Biden to deliver speech at DNC, son Hunter to also speak. That was published at 8:04 last night. So just under an hour before the start of the program at 9 o'clock, there was reports that Joe Biden was to deliver his speech live. I never saw the logo. I never saw the live logo.
Yeah.
But apparently that was the case. So there you go.
There's nothing to indicate otherwise that
no.
There's nothing to indicate that he didn't tape it a half an hour,
Sure.
2 hours before.
Sure.
Play it and then come out from behind that wall.
Yep. You got it, Larry. Hey,
I wanted to raise a question. I wasn't sure if I had missed something or if you had any assurance. You know, the Post article is just a Post article, not to demean it by means.
No, I hear you.
Yeah, I wanted to raise the question.
Yeah, good point, Larry. Thank you. Yep. 800-859-0957. Yeah, you got it, Larry. Have a good one. 800-859-0WJR, the number for you to call or text. To Plymouth we go. And Rod, good morning, Rod.
Chris, this is an address to Joe Biden's teleprompter speechwriter. And we need to remember that when someone's trying to deceive you, and sometimes an entire party like they are now, they keep making up excuses. They flip-flop. They sound hypocritical. And they want to pin the blame on others. And then they want to placate on the emotional issues of the day, just like these PPEs. The fact is that the Democrats did not take the initiative in manufacturing and procuring those PPEs on their own as late as 8 months ago when Nancy Pelosi was in Chinatown in San Francisco saying there's no problem here. So the point is here, Chris, is that these Democrats, they should have already procured everything that they needed in every state. They just keep asking for more, pinning the blame on somebody else. And everybody needs to realize this.
Well, and to be fair, Rod, I mean, all of these people have speechwriters. I mean, that's not unusual. I mean, Donald Trump has a speechwriter. I mean, all those people have speechwriters.
And so they address the speechwriter, Chris. That's the whole point of even saying that.
Well, okay. I mean, fair enough. But I'm just saying, like they're the wordsmith, and they're just in charge of reading it. They're the talking head, and they just base everything around their policies. I mean, that's not that crazy. Thank you, Rod. Appreciate it. 800-859-0957. Cliff and Leonard. Go ahead, Cliff.
Hey, thank you for the opportunity, Chris, and a big hoorah goes out to Digger.
I know.
I can appreciate that story. That's the spirit of America and Game Honor. I've been biting my tongue for a long time now. We had 8 years of Biden and Obama, and I'm a manufacturer up in Lapeer County.
Mm-hmm.
We employ 60 people. And the problem that I see is, first of all, we had Obamacare. That almost broke our company. So we were faced with hard decisions on taking care of our people. We did the right thing, and we got them coverage. The penalty was actually cheaper than flipping the bill for health care. But what is the reassurance to the American people that Biden is going to come through on any promises just based on his record?
Yeah. Well, that's a valid concern.
It is. And I just think that people need to wake up and do some research and quit blaming Donald Trump for all their frustrations on anything he does. He did not cause this pandemic.
Correct.
And he has red tape he's got to go through and has to have advice from people to do the things that he wants to get done, and it's got to go through the approvals. He can't act on his own. We were faced in the beginning of March with no guidance as a manufacturer, no guidance from my governor. And they're blaming Donald Trump. I wanted guidance so I could operate safely within our four walls for our people to keep them employed.
Well, and Cliff, let's expand on that even a little further, right? Because look at the facts. There was no country on this planet that could stop this thing from coming in. Okay, Donald Trump ain't Walter White, and Mike Pence ain't Jesse Pinkman from Breaking Bad. They're not cooking up this virus in an RV. Okay, so
Yeah.
Let's be real here. There was no country that was able to contain this virus because of the way it spread. Because you can be asymptomatic and still spread it. It was a borderline impossible to stop. Okay, so with that said, when they say things like there are 16 million people unemployment is 10.5%, unemployment is through the roof, claims are higher than they've ever been since the Great Recession. I mean, they could go on and on and on, but the fact of the matter is there wasn't much they could do. And Donald Trump didn't create this virus. He's only trying to deal with it. Yes.
We, in January, last year, we were in record territory with the people that we employed. They got us there. We were in record territory. We started out January in record territory with our company, and we were manufacturing and sending stuff to 46 countries around the world. Life was great. February, we were in record territory. March, here comes the pandemic. Shut down completely, developing a plan to make sure that we could get through. Fortunately for us, we're frontline infrastructure, support personnel for our equipment, and we made it through, and our numbers are pretty stable right now, and we're continuing to move forward. But my point is this, Chris, we had absolutely no input from the leadership in the government and no guidance. We were left on our own to assume what we could and couldn't do. I reached out several times with no avail to get help and get guidance on a safe operating.
Well, Cliff, I'm sorry. I'm sure I know that other businesses have gone through the same thing. So I'm sorry to hear that, but thank you for sharing your thoughts. 800-859-0957, 800-859-0WJR. 9:57 off to the roadways we go with Dana Clark.
Looking at construction this weekend, Chris, 94 eastbound between Gratiot and 696 happening just about every weekend. Starting at 8 p.m. tonight, all lanes will shut down until 5 a.m. on Monday. Also, construction along Woodward, both directions, northbound and southbound at 14 Mile. That's in Birmingham. The right lane is closed daily, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. through August 28th. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel, sponsored by Gordon Chevrolet, where not only do you pick your payment, but now pick your program. Need to pull ahead your lease? Do you need GM employee pricing or a low payment with zero interest? Let Gordon Chevrolet help you find it on Ford Road, just west of Merriman in Garden City, GordonChevrolet.com. Gordon Chevrolet, find new roads. Great sunshine to kick off the weekend. It's going to get hotter each day, a high of 87 today. Clear skies tonight, low 66. Sunshine, 88 on Saturday, 89 on Sunday. Some sun, some clouds. Possible thunderstorm in the evening. Sunshine, 73 degrees. I'm Dana Clark, WJR News with the Capener in 2 minutes.
Mark Levin, weeknights at 8 on News Talk 760 WJR.
Attention. Looking for authors. Have you written a book and want to get it published?
All right.
Get your book into bookstores and for sale online at Amazon, Apple iTunes, and other outlets.
I believe Detroit held us up tallying votes during the last election, too. Why is it still occurring? Incompetence from Ed.
$36.89 now for your free author submission kit.
72%. 72% they say are wrong.
Submission kit. Again,
72% of ballots were 72% of Detroit's absentee ballot counts were off. Mail-in voting is going to cause a total disaster.
WJR to hear about the latest
Dr.
Brian Collender.
Buddy's Pizza.
Todd says, I believe it's part of the plan. Dave, you think it's part of the plan?
No, I don't think it's part of the plan. I think it's just, if you want to go, if you're worried about it, go vote in person. That's, Go vote in person if you're worried about that. Your vote's not going to get counted for the mail and stuff. I haven't gotten any things to my house from people that used to live there or anything like that.
Well, I don't think that happens to everybody. I mean, I haven't either.
Yeah.
But whoever think the ballots are not going to be tampered with is out of their mind. From Jim. The more hands that touch them, the odds increase to cheat. Well, if the odds increase that something goes wrong, whether it's on purpose or not.
Right.
I believe Biden was taped makes perfect sense.
Ahead of the November election, the Wayne County Board of Canvassers asked
I also watched it last night, and I did not see the live thing you were talking about.
I didn't see it. And like I said, I thought it was interesting that he didn't have the prompters here where they usually have them.
I heard you talking to Paul W. Smith about that. Why
they didn't have them?
Why is that interesting that they weren't at the side and that they were in front of him?
Because then the prompter was then in front of him.
Okay.
But why didn't he have these? They always have these.
Okay,
he always has these.
Okay, what's the reason for those? Well, I guess I don't know what the reason is for having them on the side, or what's the difference? What does it matter?
So the reason you have them, the reason that they're there, right, and they're see-through. So the reason is when a politician is talking to a crowd, he can look this way and still see a prompter, and he can look this way and still see a prompter, and usually they have one in front.
Well, then it makes sense. He wasn't talking to anybody, so it makes sense.
He wasn't talking to anybody, but Kamala Harris had one the other night. She had him out here. She wasn't talking to anybody either.
Okay. All right. Well,
so I just found it curious.
Maybe it distracts him. I don't know.
Well, maybe. I don't know if that's the only thing that would distract him. I believe Biden was taped. Make for perfect sense. Zero policy was discussed last night. Won't be teleprompters during the debates. That's true, Barbara. A few, but only were in general. Most all bad. Lost jobs. Dems love globalism. Detroit a ghost town again. Fauci, CDC, and WHO are all red tape plus the Dems. I've been in a few mail distribution centers, and 3 are hundreds of hands-on touching the mail. My best friend has worked downtown. I don't know what's FTST.
Is that 4th Street or something?
4th Street? Yeah, maybe.
The post office there.
Oh yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Yep, that could be.
Yeah. But it doesn't mean just because that you got hundreds of hands touching it that there's conspiracy. Sure,
no, that's true, but it does
going to be mistakes. But
yeah, but why do we want mistakes? Why is that?
We don't want mistakes. It just happens. It's just part of.
Why do we? But why should we just accept that?
I'm not accepting it. I'm saying if you're worried about it, then go vote in person. You don't have to worry about it.
Well, that's true. I think that's right.
But then they'll be like, well, they didn't count it right at the center, or the computer was wrong, or they put it in the computer, it didn't accept it, something malfunctioned. There's always these conspiracy theories.
But I mean, think about it like this: even with normal absentee balloting before Michigan passed the amendment to the law back in 2018. I mean, there's still times when their ballots aren't counted properly, and that's not even with no reason absentee ballot.
Right.
So for me, I mean, even then, that's still not right. I mean, let's get one system down before we introduce a whole other way of voting.
Nothing's foolproof. I think we understand that.
Well, it's pretty foolproof when you go to the box and put it in the machine and it sucks it up.
Except in that when they had the hanging Chad problem with Gore and Bush, that down in Florida, if you remember that.
Yeah, but that is so infrequent.
I mean, I'm just saying, you can
look,
call
I'm saying,
anything,
so you've got in 2020, August 4th primary, we've got mistakes. Then you go back to 2018, we had issues there. You go back to 2016, we had issues with ballots being sent in absentee.
So obviously, if you
I'm just saying, it is an issue.
If you want it done right, you go vote in person, I guess.
I think that's probably the way to go. Now, again, if you're a serviceman or woman, or you're a veteran, or you're injured, I mean, anything. I'm fine with absentee balloting, but I always thought there had to be a reason. Right. But that was part of the amendment they passed in 2018.
So you're fine as long as there's a choice. As long as you can go and vote in person, then you're fine with having the absentee ballots.
Again, look, the law has changed now in Michigan. I thought the law before was adequate. I thought it was fine.
30 seconds.
But now I'm not. I mean, look, How does this open it up? I'm not saying that there is going to be fraud.
Right.
But there is an issue with people's ballots even being counted, and I think that's wrong.
You're right. All right, we're coming back. Your guest is on the line.
Disease is reversible. It's not in the genes, it's in your profile. It's time to take charge of your health. Call Dr. Brian Collender at 248-737-0091.
Mitch Albom, afternoons at 5 on News Talk 760 WJR. The Frank Beckmann Show, News Talk 760 WJR. Now in for Frank, here's Chris Renwick.
Well, of course, getting kids back to school is underway in some areas. Even kids are already starting to go back, but a lot of communities and districts around our state, specifically here in Southeast Michigan, have just decided to go virtual, and there's a lot of problems with that. Obviously, the actual learning aspect itself. But there is a technology gap in a lot of places, specifically Detroit. We've seen recently that not everybody has internet access. Not everybody has laptops or computers that they can actually do their schoolwork on. Well, Comcast now is getting into the game to help with their Internet Essentials Partnership Program. And it's good for cities, schools, and students all across the country. And again, here in Michigan, as they get ready for the next school year. To help us talk about it, our friend Michelle Gilbert here with us, Vice President of Public Relations for Comcast Cable's Heartland region, and she joins us here on the Frank Beckmann Show. Michelle, good morning to you.
Good morning, Chris. It's a pleasure to talk to you this morning.
Well, it's good to have you. So tell me more about this Internet Essentials Partnership Program. What does it entail? What does it include? And we'll start there.
Absolutely. And if I could just clarify one thing, we've actually been in the game of bridging the digital divide for about a decade. Across Michigan, we have connected over 100,000 households and 29,000 just in Detroit with our Internet Essentials program. What we've done most recently, though, is early in the shutdown due to COVID-19, we were approached by many different organizations, some cities, school districts, even nonprofits that expressed interest in sponsoring our Internet Essentials program for low-income families. So rather than those families paying $10 a month on their own, these partner organizations were saying, hey, we'd like to foot the bill for them for the school year. So we created a program that, as you indicated, is called the Internet Essentials Partnership Program, and it allows more organizations to collaborate with us on our existing successful program to help ensure we can connect as many families as possible, especially as parents are working from home and kids are going to school.
So talk to me about how this has changed during COVID-19. If you've been in the game for a decade and you've helped some 29,000 in Detroit and some 100,000 statewide, how has this changed? What are you seeing? And have these requests gone up recently?
Yes. So very, very early in the shutdown, we started offering Internet Essentials for free to all new low-income households that had not been Internet Essentials customers before. So we started offering 2 months free. And we saw tremendous embracing of this program. A lot of families came to us and have taken advantage of the 2 months for free. In addition to the 2 months for free, we've also opened all of our public Wi-Fi hotspots for all people, not just our customers, so that people could take advantage if they didn't have internet access at home and they could get online. And so we've seen an uptick in that as well. So this is just one more extension of how we're trying to get as many families connected as possible.
And so what does this include? I mean, if somebody wants to sign up for this, what are they going to see?
Okay, so just like our Internet Essentials program, what families will get is they will get internet access for $9.95 a month. It's just that instead of the family paying for it, the sponsor is paying for it. Comcast still takes care of the cost of the router and modem. So there are no equipment costs for families in the Internet Essentials program. And pretty much we provide unlimited training. Usually we have in-person training, but due to COVID, all of the training now is available online. And we also provide the opportunity for anyone who does not have a computer to purchase one through our program for only $150.
Wow, that's awesome. So look, I mean, if there are people out there that need this for the school year, it's available to them through Comcast at an incredibly affordable rate. But it's just the connecting is such a huge step, I have to imagine.
Yeah, the connecting is a huge step. And one thing that I want to point out is, we have done a lot of research in this area, and cost alone is not the only barrier to internet adoption, particularly by low-income families. There's fear of the internet. And of course, as we talked about, there's the lack of having a connected device in the home. And so that is why when we've developed the Internet Essentials program, and every single year we make so many upgrades to the program, we have tried to eliminate some of those other barriers by providing the ability to get a lower price laptop, as well as the ability to connect through Wi-Fi and the training.
And so if somebody wants to get involved with this, internetessentials.com, is that the right place to go? Yes. So for organizations that are interested in being a sponsor, I would send them to internetessentials.com partner. And then for any families that are interested in signing up, if you just go to internetessentials.com, which may seem silly if you don't have internet access, but it's very, very easy to do from a mobile phone. Or they can also call 855-846-8376. Lots of good stuff there. And I hope that as many people will take advantage of this as possible. Michelle Gilbert, Vice President of Public Relations at Comcast Cable's Heartland region. Thank you so much for taking some time. We appreciate it.
Thanks so much, Chris.
Yep, you got it. There she is, Michelle Gilbert. All right, 800-859-0957, 800-859-0WJR, the number for you to call or text. Still a lot to get to this morning, including a new poll showing that Donald Trump might actually be up on Joe Biden. We'll talk about that coming up, as well as your phone calls and text. But at 10:12, off to the roadways we go. We'll get an update there with our Dana Clark.
This report is sponsored by the podcast Why I'm Voting.
Have you ever wondered if Will Ferrell likes to wear his I voted sticker?
I'll even wear it until the next day.
Or what makes Stephanie Ruhle so passionate about voting?
It's about what kind of country, what kind of world do you want to live in?
Listen to Why I'm Voting wherever you get your podcasts.
94 eastbound ramp to Gratiot in Detroit. An accident is reported on that exit ramp. That ramp is closed. Watch for debris 696 eastbound before Southfield Road. It's fiberglass debris blowing in and out of the lane, so traffic is a bit slow as a result of that debris. Please use caution. Now, WJR weather first from the Weather Channel.
A nice dry week. High pressure hangs on. A couple of more days through the weekend. Dry weather expected. Warming trend. Clear, comfortable morning, sunny afternoon. Still comfortable at 86. Tonight, clear, 63. Outlying areas a little cooler. And lots of sun and upper 80s over the weekend. Maybe some wet weather by Monday. From the Weather Channel, meteorologist Ray Stagik on News Talk 760 WJR.
For over 100 years, Absopure has remained committed to serving communities through
Your changed work environment, Absopure is ready to serve you just as they always have. Absopure is dedicated to providing offices with top-notch refreshment and top-notch service. They offer
Chris.
a variety of bottles.
Yeah. Hey.
Look at this comment right here.
Mm-hmm.
And each variety comes in an assortment.
Whitmore will shut us back down the first week of November. Yeah. Sure.
Absopure is your go-to provider for a delicious assortment of coffee and coffee goods to power your workday. Whether it's by the pot or by the cup, they have.
Well, wouldn't that be something?
Yeah,
Goodness.
Then you guys would have something to talk about.
Yeah, I don't know that that's going to happen.
Then you guys would have something to talk about for sure.
I'd be pretty shocked. That's the only way I vote is in person. I was referring about the people who are planning on voting by mail. Sure. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, I I'm not saying that it's deliberate. Even in this case, with what's happening in Detroit, I don't know if it's deliberate, but it's happening.
Right.
And that's the issue.
You make a good point. It might not be anything that is unscrupulous, but
I don't know that that's the case.
But it is happening.
But it's happening. So we got to keep that in mind. All right, let's see here. Let's talk about this next. What do you think? We'll take some calls, some texts.
You've got a guest coming on next.
Oh, that's right.
Perfect. Thank you so much
Yes.
for calling, Natalie. We'll be with you in just a moment out of the commercial break. They'll be speaking to Chris.
And Rich is talking to her right now, so she'll be on the line for you.
Oh, okay, great.
Okay.
WJR, where the fun never
One
stops.
thing that we did not talk about that happened a couple days ago, which I thought was kind of interesting that we maybe can talk about later, was that Apple becoming the first $2 trillion company.
Yeah, I saw that. My goodness.
Based almost solely off of the iPhone.
Well, sure.
Just think about that. Just think about that. The iPhone came out in February of 2007.
Really?
Yep, that's when I got it. When it first came out, I remember it. February of 2007. AT&T was the only company that would have it at that point, because when Jobs went around to talk to different companies, AT&T was the only company that would go with him. Then, of course, everybody got it. Samsung came out with the Droid and whatever.
Right.
But just think about that. $2 trillion company, and solely off of one item, one SKU almost.
Wow. Yeah, that's incredible.
That is unbelievable.
Yeah, it's incredible.
I mean, it's just crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Think about it.
No, it's crazy. It is. Yeah, it's incredible.
What to have some Apple stock right now.
No doubt.
Unbelievable.
My goodness. What is their stock at? I'd love to know.
I'll look it up. I think it's like at 460 something or something like that.
Oh my goodness.
It's big time. I know that.
That is big time.
So we're coming back.
Okay.
Do you know the best washer and dryer made today? What comes from China or Korea? And what was manufactured in the good old USA? You're going to find out when I return this weekend.
Giving tips and advice on home appliances and helping consumers for 36 years. Joe Gannon is the appliance doctor on the Home and Appliance Show. Weekend morning 6 to 8 on News Talk 760 WJR.
The Frank Beckmann Show, News Talk 760 WJR. Now in for Frank, here's Chris Renwick.
800-859-0957, 800-859-0WJR, the number for you to call or text. So, according to a new Rasmussen poll, I told you, 51% of likely U.S. voters approve of President Donald Trump's job performance, while 48% disapprove. The latest figures also show that 38% who strongly approve of the job Trump is doing and 41% strongly disapprove, which is very interesting. Again, that's from Rasmussen. Wanted to just pass that along to you as well. Also, tomorrow, coming up, we've got another Trump boat parade. This time happening in St. Clair. And I wanted to get a little bit of information on this, and to help me do that, Madeline Osawala, founder of the St. Clair Trumptilla Boat Parade, is on with us this morning. Now, Madeline, good morning to you.
Good morning, Chris.
Hey, how are you?
Great. How are you?
I'm very good. Hey, thanks for taking some time with us. So you got this boat parade tomorrow down in St. Clair. And I'm wondering, how did this come about? You're the organizer. You're the founder of this thing. How did you decide to do this?
So I am a young 26-year-old woman who was just ready for some fun this summer and was looking for a great way to make a stand. And I know we have a large silent majority who's backing Trump through this election, but I thought, why not make a stand and have some fun while doing it? And I thought maybe 10 or 15 votes would show up. And to date, we're nearly 4,000 people interested in attending.
Oh my goodness gracious. That's incredible. How long have you had it out there?
I would say about 2 months we've had the event and the website going.
Wow. That's incredible. Well, in addition to obviously this being a Trump boat parade, you do also have, you say here that a lot of this is meant to back groups like our armed forces, our law enforcement, our firefighters, our EMS and healthcare workers. So this isn't just necessarily a political rally. This is just showing appreciation to a lot of our first responders and heroes.
Correct. Once we got this momentum going and an overwhelming group to support this movement, we decided to really shift the focus to honor those who risk their life saving our country, our communities, and serving. So I really wanted to take the focus and honor those people, and especially those who've lost their life, to serving our country. So on land, we are having a cruise-in rally where classic cars, motorcycles, Jeeps, and trucks are coming through. And at 2:30, we are all pausing and waving the boats on and just going to come together and really honor those people.
Awesome. And if people want to get involved, if they want to get their boat in the water and make the trek, what do they got to do?
Great. So I was actually hoping to have a call to action right now with this, where anyone who's attended the Detroit, Clinton River, or Algonac Boat Parade would attend ours as well. We want to make this the largest Michigan boat parade and rally to date. So if you want to be involved, there's a local amazing boat launch right in St. Clair, and you can launch there. And we're heading to downtown Marysville at 12. And at 12:30 and 1 o'clock, we're starting to line up. And by 1 o'clock, we are taking off, heading southbound to downtown St. Clair.
Awesome. Well, best of luck to you. I imagine you will have a quite a turnout, and we wish you all the best. Madeline Asawala, founder of the St. Clair Trump-Tilla Boat Rally, here with us on the Frank Beckmann Show. Madeline, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Chris.
Yep, you got it. All right, 800-859-0957, 800-859-0WJR, the number for you to call or text. Let's get back to the phones. Robert in Sterling Heights. Good morning, Robert.
Morning, Chris. Great show today.
Thank you.
Tell you what, I just want to touch base a little bit on voter absentee voting.
Mm-hmm.
I know in Michigan we don't count those ballots until the end of the day or something like that, because I remember Mayor Fouts, actually a magazine or a newspaper declared him losing. When they counted the absentee ballots, he actually won.
Mm-hmm.
But there's some things that I just don't understand about these absentee ballots. If there's something wrong with your ballot and they disqualify you, you're not known about it. You're not notified, are you?
No, I don't believe so. No.
How would you know your ballot actually counted then or not? So what I want everyone to do is actually, you have to go and tell you what, Chris, I don't want to do this. I already got plans to go somewhere else. I don't want to even be in the state, but I'm going to go down and vote in person. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my phone with me. I'm going to take a picture of the ballot, because they do have a little rung of numbers in the top that you take a picture of, because this not only happened in Detroit with what's going on with ballots not matching up. Didn't that also happen in Southfield a little while back? And I think the Attorney General, Dana Nelson, did charge someone, the clerk, with that. It's not matching up.
Yes.
So I'm just a little nervous about things, and I'm not a paranoid person. I'm telling everyone to vote in person, no matter who you're voting for, because it's just not, I don't have a good feeling about it.
No, I hear you. And look, and like I said, I don't even know at this point that this is like being done maliciously or on purpose. I don't know. What's happening in Detroit, right? 72% of Detroit absentee ballot counts were off. I don't know if that's happening on purpose, maliciously. I don't believe so. But the fact that there's a problem, right? The fact that there's an issue,
right,
is good enough for me to question. And like this happened in 2016 before this amendment to the law was passed in 2018, where it was basically no reason absentee ballot. You can just get an absentee ballot for whatever reason you want. But even back in 2016, we had problems like this. So again, I'm not saying this is being done on purpose, but I am saying that it's happening, and that's where the issue is.
Well, Chris, one more thing. Just look in New Jersey. I guess they have to redo an entire election in November, and what happened in New Jersey. And that's an off-season election. That's with very few people voting, and they have to redo the whole election.
Right. All right, Robert, interesting points. Thanks for the call, my friend. 800-859-0957. Real quick, let's go to Ken in Livonia. Ken, good morning. All right, Ken's not there. I'll tell you what. Let's go to John in Ipsy. Go ahead, John. All right. How about Kirk in Waterford? Kirk.
Thanks for taking my call.
Sure.
And I'm an always Trumper. I just want to give my spin on what the Democrats are doing.
All right, real quick.
A loser in both the presidential and the vice president. And basically, they've been trying for 4 years to get rid of Trump. They know they don't have anybody that can beat him. So they're throwaway candidates. That's what I think. And the next real candidate for the Democratic Party possibly would come in the 2024 election.
So you're just saying that they're already conceding the loss to Trump? They already know that this isn't going to work for them?
They're trying to let on that they're trying to beat him, but they see the reality of it. Biden's not going anywhere. Why would they pick her? She couldn't even make it.
Yeah. No, Kirk, I understand what you're saying.
They got two throwaway candidates. That's what I think.
All right. Well, thank you for that. I appreciate the thoughts. I'm not sure that I buy that. I think the Democrats want Donald Trump out yesterday. I think it was Tammy Duckworth who said, Trump doesn't deserve to be president for 4 more minutes, let alone 4 more years. Okay. Well, if I feel like that's them saying we don't want anything to do with this guy for the next 4 years. 800-859-0957. But it also speaks to the fact that I don't know that the Democrats feel that they have anybody that can beat Donald Trump. 800-859-0957. 800-859-0WJR. Off to the roadways we go. We'll check it out with Dana Clark.
This report is sponsored by the podcast Why I'm Voting. The Why I'm Voting podcast features stories from Will Ferrell, Billie Eilish, Darius Rucker, John Legend, and more about why showing up to the ballot box means so much, not just as individuals, but for our entire nation. Listen to Why I'm Voting wherever you get your podcasts.
94 eastbound at Gratiot, that exit ramp is closed due to an accident there, blocking that exit. Once again, that ramp is closed 94 eastbound at Gratiot. Watch for debris. This is along 696 eastbound before Southfield Road. That debris is fiberglass blowing in and out of the lanes. Traffic is a bit slow. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel, sponsored by Marathon. No matter where your travels take you, Marathon can improve your engine performance with quality top-tier gasoline. Marathon, fueling the American spirit. Ready for the weekend? Get ready for some hot temperatures and lots of sunshine. Today, sunny, a high of 87, tonight 66. Saturday, 88 with sunshine, more sun, but some clouds, a few afternoon showers possible on Sunday. A hot one, though, 89. Sunshine, 73 degrees. I'm Dana Clark, WJR News, with Dick Hafner in 2 minutes.
Know your risk factor for heart attack and stroke. Tune in Sundays at 3 to News Talk 760 WJR to hear about the latest diagnostic technology from Dr. Brian Collender.
Ray Wiegand's Nursery is open and welcomes you to enjoy and save on beautiful flowers, trees, shrubs, and so much more. Ray Wiegand's Nursery cares about the safety of our employees and customers. We are following the recommended guidelines for a safer shopping experience. And right now, all shade trees are all 20% off. All roses are 20 to 30% off. All 1, 2, and 3 gallon size perennials are 20% off. All outdoor pottery is now 30 to 40% off. Plus all patio furniture and umbrellas are 25% off. And there's great savings on so much more. Be sure to visit our website at weekensnursery.com for safety details and this week's specials. Remember, for the best quality, selection, value, and service, buy direct from the nursery. Ray Wiegand's Nursery, since 1941. In Macomb Township, on Romeo Plank Road, we make it worth the drive.
Tune into The Rich Paul Show, Saturdays at 9 a.m., Mondays at 7 p.m. This week, we're talking some retirement and financial statistics, along with fact or fiction and some current events. So tune in to The Rich Paul Show, Saturdays at 9 a.m., Mondays at 7 p.m. here on WJR.
Rush Limbaugh, weekdays at noon on News Talk 760 WJR.
Postmaster General Louis DeJoy tells a Senate panel that he supports Americans' right to vote by mail and has done nothing to quash it. DeJoy is being asked to explain the removal of hundreds of mail processing machines, as well as the removal of hundreds of postal drop boxes. Michigan Senator Gary Peters pressed DeJoy.
Prior to implementing the changes that you put forth in the postal system, did you discuss those changes, or are there a potential impact on the November election with the president or anyone at the White House? And remind you, you're under oath.
I have never spoken to the president about the Postal Service other than to congratulate me when I accepted the position.
DeJoy reversed course this week, vowing to postpone any further changes until after the election to avoid the perception of any interference. Detroit vote handling procedures are a mess. Most of the results cannot be recounted. The Wayne County Board of Canvassers says 72% of the precincts could not be recounted from the August primary. The Wayne County Board of Canvassers asked the Secretary of State Benson to investigate, and she told Paul W. there is enough time to address the problem.
The legislative change we've been asking for now for over a year, for more processing time. It's one of the reasons why you see human error and absentee counting boards prone to error when you're handling a significant number of ballots, thousands of ballots, more than ever before, and more than any jurisdiction handles, which is for Detroit. They're our largest jurisdiction. So they're the ones who led the way in saying we want to be able to start opening and processing our ballots sent through the mail on Mondays.
Benson says more trained poll workers and counting workers are needed. Jury duty will resume in Wayne County. Jury summons will start going out soon. The summons contain a section entitled Public Health and Safety. It has a link for a video juror experience. Jurors will be provided with kits that include masks, gloves, hand sanitizers, and antibacterial wipes. Seating is socially distanced, and there are social distancing markers on the floor of the jury pool. There are still issues to be worked out in the settlement of lawsuits with the state of Michigan arising out of the Flint water emergency. The funds for payment of the settlement are expected to require an appropriation by the state legislature, along with the approval of other judges who were involved in the lawsuits. The state announced a $600 million settlement. No cause of death is given for a Royal Oak City commissioner. 48-year-old Kim Gibbs was found unconscious in her Royal Oak home 2 weeks ago. She was brought to a hospital. Life support was disconnected. The cause of death not disclosed. 2 potential hurricanes are forecast to hit land in the U.S. Meteorologist Eric Van Dam reports one of the tropical depressions is causing storm watches in the Caribbean.
These 2 storms both have the potential to impact the southeastern United States within the next 5 days. 35-mile-per-hour sustained winds with Tropical Depression 13. The storm has not yet been named. It still needs to get its act together, but nonetheless, there are still tropical storm watches across the Leeward Islands, as well as the British Virgin Islands into Puerto Rico.
As an asteroid is being tracked that will come near to Earth, simultaneous explosions of stars, supernovas, may have led to one of the mass extinctions on Earth 359 million years ago. According to new research, the collective events resulted in the loss of about 80% of all animal species at that time, according to astronomers at the University of Illinois. And you thought we had problems. On Wall Street, the Dow and the S&P are up. I'm Dick Hafner, WJR News. More coming up with Chris Renwick.
Hey, did you know that about 1 in 5 Americans suffer from chronic body pain? I can relate to that. I've had the nagging back and neck pain for a long, long time after 9 surgeries. You hear a lot of companies out there say they can make you pain-free, and I'll be honest, I never really trusted it. But then I met my friends at the Restore Wellness Center. They use the nation's top laser system. It's designed to treat the pain. Their technicians go through extensive training across the country. Their FDA-cleared laser treatments can relieve pain from chronic conditions like arthritis, tendonitis, muscle strain, and much more, helping to avoid surgery, injections, and drugs. So call the largest, most experienced laser treatment center in Michigan today. Receive your first treatment free. Locations in Bloomfield, Brighton, and Shelby Township. Call 800-935-5959. 800-935-5959 or visit restorewellnesscenter.com. Restore Wellness Center. What do you need restored?
Have you been told you need spine surgery or just sick of living in pain? The Disc Institute has a proven, painless alternative. If your neck, back, or sciatic pain is due to a herniated, degenerative, or bulging disc, then you actually have two problems. One, your pain, and two, your bad disc. Drugs, therapies, epidurals, and new pain lasers are designed to only treat your pain, but they're not designed to treat your disc problem. And this is crucial because your bad disc is what's causing your pain in the first place. Without addressing your disc problem, your problem will get worse, which can ultimately lead to surgery. At the Disc Institute, we have a proven solution to solve both of your problems, your pain and the bad disc that's causing it, with our high-tech, non-invasive treatments. This is what can stop your pain without surgery. Call me at the Disc Institute at 586-416-DISC. That's 586-416-3472. We'll even review your MRI for no charge. Call 586-416-DISC. Reclaim your life.
Hiring can be challenging, but ZipRecruiter makes it fast and easy. We talked to COO Dylan Miskowitz, who needed to hire a director of coffee for his company, Cafe Altura.
We would look through lots of applications for people who were not qualified. It definitely felt like we were looking for a needle in a haystack.
So Dylan started using ZipRecruiter and found his perfect candidate in a few days. ZipRecruiter's powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free.
We were very impressed with how quickly we had quality candidates apply through ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter is a powerful tool in our hiring process.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And now you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. At ZipRecruiter.com/search. That's ZipRecruiter.com/search. ZipRecruiter.com/search.
The Frank Beckmann Show. News Talk 760 WJR. Now in for Frank. Here's Chris Renwick.
800-859-0957, 800-859-0WJR. Let's go back to the phones. Let's go to Highland and Sam. Good morning, Sam.
Hi, Chris. Can you hear me?
Yep, I got you.
Okay, Chris. I'm a Vietnam veteran. Mm-hmm. I just recently got 2 COVID tests. Both came back negative. And it got me to thinking, I believe if they reported the cases, for example, 500 positive cases with only 10 hospitalizations, I think the general public would be much less fearful. What do you think?
Well, sure. Yeah, of course. I mean, I think, again, I think the biggest part for us right now is to make sure that hospitalizations are down, which they are significantly.
Well, I believe, I mean, I would suggest that the hospitals or the health department report cases positive and only 10 hospitalizations. And I think if people heard that, they'd be less fearful of this COVID-19. I just wanted to let you know. That was my opinion.
Thank you, Sam. We appreciate it. 800-859-0957. Off to Port Huron we go, and we'll talk with Rosemary. Good morning, Rosemary.
It's not Rosemary, it's Rosemary.
Okay. Hi, Rosemary.
Right. I want to tell you 2 things about the virus. I don't believe it. If you just take care of yourself. I go out in public without the mask, and I'm 80 years old, and I'm fine. I'm with people, and if I go to a public where you check your temperature, it's always perfect or good.
Yeah, right.
But anyways, I want to tell you about the Democrats. I want to say we better have the Republicans in, because if people listen to that conversation about that I'm old,
Yeah, sure.
They were telling all those lies. I had to laugh. I said President Trump did all the good stuff, and what they did is try to be against him.
Yep. So, Rosemary, look, I appreciate the call. Thank you. And Rosemary says, look, you got to keep the Republicans in office. All right. Thank you, Rosemary. Appreciate it. 800-859-0957, 800-859-0WJR, the number for you, call or text. And as we continue to talk about November's election and the mail-in voting, wanted to try to get somebody who's on the front lines. And that's the Putnam Township Clerk, Sally Guyon, here on the Frank Beckmann Show. Sally, good morning to you. Good morning, Chris. Thanks for taking some time with us. So I wanted to ask you a couple questions. First of all, as a township clerk, you're right at the heart of all of this. And we've heard this report now today.
I'm sorry, Chris, you cut out. I did not hear the question.
That's okay. So we see this report today out of Detroit that 72% of the absentee ballot counts were off. And again, I'm not saying it's malicious. I'm not saying it's on purpose, but it is happening. Is that a concern that you face as a county, as a township clerk?
Absolutely not, Chris. Our process is laid out as a checklist for the absentee ballot processing team. They open the envelopes. They check the ballot number against the ballot number on the envelope. They're still in the secrecy sleeves, and then they tear off the stubs. So there's complete privacy for the voter.
Mm-hmm.
And then they remove the ballots and they start processing them in batches.
Mm.
And they're given a list, and they compare that list as far as the number of ballots received by the board and the number of ballots tabulated.
Are you worried Are you worried about any sort of voter fraud? Is that something that's even that you feel is even possible?
Absolutely not. I'm not worried at all, and I'm not familiar with the Detroit story other than what I heard this morning on your show. I didn't hear it on Paul W.'s show because I didn't have the radio on, and it's not in the free press. I tried to find it, so all I know is what you've said, and I have to believe that there's a problem since it's so massive in Detroit that there's maybe a training problem when they are processing and just not keeping track of.
So specifically, the board of the Wayne County Board of Canvassers requested that Jocelyn Benson's office examine a training and process that was used in that primary. So that you feel like that makes sense.
Yes, it does. And then hopefully they can make adjustments to that so it does not happen in November. But we have a very clean process in Livingston County. The Board of Canvassers just certified the election, the August election, and they were so impressed by the paperwork and everything that we have to turn in across the board, all townships in 2 cities.
Well, good. Look, and this is why we asked you to come on, because being able to get those questions answered from somebody on the front lines is so important. And Sally Guy on the Putnam Township Clerk able to answer them for us. Sally, thank you so much for taking some time. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yep, you got it. 800-859-0957, 800-859-0WJR, the number for you to call or text. At 10:42, out to the roadways we go. We'll get an update with our Dana Clark.
Podcast Why I'm Voting. The Why I'm Voting podcast features stories from Will Ferrell, Billie Eilish, Darius Rucker, John Legend, and more about why showing up to the ballot box means so much, not just as individuals, but for our entire nation. Listen to Why I'm Voting wherever you get your podcasts.
Traffic First, also sponsored by Marathon. No matter where your travels take you, Marathon can improve your engine performance with quality top-tier gasoline. Marathon, fueling the American spirit. 94 eastbound at Gratiot. Accident is on that ramp. That ramp is still closed. Watching debris along 696 eastbound before Southfield Road. Fiberglass debris is blowing in and out of those lanes. Traffic is slow as a result. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel, sponsored by Shelving.com. Shelving.com, a Michigan family business offering Detroit-made durable Unirack brand pallet racking. Maximize space in your manufacturing facility. Warehouse, school, and home celebrate 60 years with Shelving.com. Get a free warehouse safety pallet rack survey and 11% off. That's Shelving.com. We rack your world.
We'll continue with good stuff as high pressure's in. Guess what? The sun is back. Sunshine today, and after another cool start, make it up to a little warmer, 86. Tonight clear 63. Over the weekend, warmer, back to August. Clouds and sunshine, highs in the upper 80s. Next chance of thunderstorms Monday. From the Weather Channel, meteorologist Ray Staging on News Talk 760 WJR.
This report is sponsored by the podcast Why I'm Voting. The stories from Will Ferrell, Billie Eilish.
All right. Let's see. We got a lot of Facebook comments to catch up on here.
By the way, Apple at 484.
484.
Yeah. And also your prediction correct about Tom Brenneman from yesterday, not calling any NFL games this year.
Yeah, that's not a surprise.
Yeah.
Move election day to Wednesdays, Thursday, and Friday. So do the multiple day.
To give people more time.
So what do you provide?
Yeah, sure, Clay. Always having fun.
Oh, yeah. Dave's having fun.
Always.
Maria, yes, Frank will be back Monday. If so, going to miss watching. Oh, well, that's very nice. I appreciate that. You'll probably get more work done. Exactly. Yes, well, we're working on getting Frank hooked up here. That would be a lot of fun. Next week, though, was our Pure Michigan Golf Tour. So Frank will be traversing the state and bringing us all kinds of really cool golf news and stories and stuff like that. So looking forward to it.
Investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments.
I want to see
money management.
Investments in securities with the risk of loss.
Have you been told you need spine surgery or just sick of living in pain? The Disc Institute has a proven, painless alternative. If your neck, back, or sciatic pain is due to a herniated, degenerative, or bulging disc, then you actually have two problems. One, your pain, and two, your bad disc.
Oh, looks like Mike Pence will be coming to Michigan after the GOP convention.
But they're not designed to treat your disc problem, and this is crucial.
Trying to see. Huh?
That ought to be exciting.
Yeah.
Which can ultimately lead to surgery. At the Disc Institute, we have a proven solution to solve both of your problems, your pain and the bad disc that's causing it, with our high-tech, non-invasive treatments.
Oh, so the GOP, they are doing 4 days. I thought it was only 1 day, but they are doing 4 days
Right.
as well.
I did notice that yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. 416-3472. We'll even review your MRI for no charge. Call 586-416-DISC.
We'll see how it compares to the DNC.
1
minute.
Enjoy and save on beautiful flowers, trees, shrubs, and so much
How do you think that it will be different?
cares about the safety
I think it'll be more elaborate.
We are following the recommended guidelines for a
That would
safer
make
shopping
sense.
experience.
I think it'll be more. I actually think there will be people there to some extent.
Really? Okay.
All roses are 20 to 30% off. All 1, 2, and 3 gallon size perennials.
All right, we're coming back.
Now 30 to 40% off. Plus all patio furniture and umbrellas are 25% off. And there's great savings on so much more. Be sure to visit our website at WeekensNursery.com for safety details and this week's specials. Remember, for the best quality, selection, value, and service, buy direct from the nursery. Ray Wiegand's Nursery, since 1941. In Macomb Township, on Romeo Plank Road, we make it worth the drive.
The Frank Beckmann Show, News Talk 760 WJR. Now in for Frank, here's Chris Renwick.
800-859-0957, 800-859-0WJR, the number 40 caller text. Talking about the convention last night, as well as this crazy story out of the Detroit News. 72% of Detroit absentee ballot counts were off for the August 4th primary. So that's there for you as well. Also, people have said, 19% of people say a convention has actually changed their minds. 1 in 5 voters say a convention has changed their vote. This according to a Rasmussen survey. 19% of likely U.S. voters say they've changed the way they're going to vote after watching a national political convention. Meanwhile, another Rasmussen poll shows that 51% of likely U.S. voters approve of the job President Trump has done. 48% disapprove. So, my gut tells me that this thing is close right now. It's closer than a lot of polls are showing. I think probably this Rasmussen poll is probably pretty accurate. I think you're looking at a 50-50 split right now. I mean, this could be a toss-up at the moment. I really believe it. 800-859-0957. Let's go to Pat on the cell. Good morning, Pat.
Good morning, Chris. How are you?
I'm good. What can I do for you?
Well, what I was just wanted to say was a comment that I had. You know, I heard that last fellow say about this Kamala. I think she was, they picked her because Bernie got out of the way so that Uncle Joe could get in there. But my feelings are that, God forbid, that I hope Uncle Joe doesn't get elected. But if he does, I got $100 versus a penny that says he'll become president on January 20th. And before February 1st, he'll resign. And then can you believe that? Then we'd have Kamala Harris and Nancy Pelosi.
Well, I don't know that I buy that. I don't know that that's real. I mean, look,
I think Joe recognizes that he can't handle it and that he's gonna get out of the way. He just wants to go into history. Joe
As beating
Biden,
Donald Trump,
45th president of the United States.
Interesting. All right, Pat. I appreciate the thought. 800-859-0957. Let's go to, how about we go to George in Grosse Pointe? Good morning, George.
Good morning, Chris. You're doing a great job for Frank. Thanks very much for taking the call. And I like the mixture of topics this morning.
Mm-hmm.
Very good. The reason I'm calling is I'm just livid over this $600 million going to Flint when we've got over 400,000 people that are still on the unemployment roll, and the governor is refusing to match for $100 a person the unemployment requirement from the federal government.
Yes.
You know, she's serving maybe roughly a little over 90,000 people around the Flint area. And here we've got close to 500,000 people that are out on the unemployment ranks trying to make ends meet. And even with the $600, there's a lot of people who were in the white collar and the upper blue collar workforce who are unemployed, including myself, who are making a hell of a lot more money than that. And we're barely meeting our bills as well. So it's not just the people at the bottom of the income level. It's the people in the middle and the upper income levels who have lost their jobs due to COVID as well.
Yeah, I think this has been. I think everybody's been impacted by this somehow. And to go to your point, I mean, look, I believe when Mike Shirkey and Lee Chatfield say they're not going to raise taxes, I believe that they will stand there. But remember, now in the financial situation the state is in, it wasn't too long ago. In fact, it was the State of the State address when Governor Whitmer announced that she was bonding out money to pay for road repairs because she and the legislature couldn't come up with a deal on funding road repairs. Right. So now put that on the table. In addition to everything that's going on with COVID, now you've got $600 million going to Flint. And I'm not saying that I'm not saying that those people aren't deserving of something. But there's a lot of money going out, not a lot coming in at the moment.
Oh, exactly. I agree. I'm not trying to begrudge the Flint population of anything. It's just that there's 4 times, maybe 5 times as many people out there suffering across our state of Michigan. And for her to object to match $100 when the federal government's willing to give us $300 is absolutely ridiculous. This business of her picking and choosing her favorites and acting like Caesar is just driving me nuts.
I got you, George. Hey, thank you for the call, my friend. 800-859-0957. Let's go to Alan in Eau Gras. Good morning, Alan.
Good morning.
Hey.
I just wanted to make the comment about the mail-in ballots on the news and everything.
Uh-huh.
And I don't understand how they can have a lower requirement for a mail-in ballot. If you want to get an absentee ballot, which we've had all along, you have to go and apply for it. And They don't. If you're not on the list, you're not going to get a ballot.
Well, as I understand it, Alan, absentee ballot and mail-in ballots are the same thing. It's the same thing. And in Michigan,
mail it in, but it's the voters' responsibility to get that ballot back to where it's supposed to go.
that's exactly right. But now in Michigan, after the 2018 amendment that was passed, now there's it's no reason absentee. So now, before it was if you're elderly and you can't get out of your house, or if you're injured, if you're deployed, if you're a veteran, there were a lot of ways that you could become an absentee voter. Now, because it's a no reason absentee voter, essentially, you can vote absentee for no reason. So it opens it up to a lot of other people.
You have to be on voter rolls to get a ballot.
Correct.
And you have to pick it up yourself or have it sent to you specifically.
Correct.
And they're going to check your ID when you go to get it. They're not just shipping several thousand out in the mail to every Tom, Dick, and Harry that's got a mailbox yet.
So you're not overly worried about voter fraud?
I am in mail-in ballots, not absentee ballots.
Right.
Because anybody can return it for you, but you have to go and pick it up yourself or request it yourself from your local voting station.
Right.
And I'm fortunate, it's a small area here. I just go over to the township hall and pick one up.
Sure.
So
All right, Alan.
this mail-in ballot stuff that's got to stop.
I hear you. All right, Alan, thank you for the call. Appreciate it. 800-859-0957. Real quick to Mark in Milford. I got just a minute here, Mark. Go ahead.
Good morning. Chris, I am looking here how much and how often people blame Trump for the coronavirus.
Oh, yeah.
Already they know about coronavirus in 2019 in September when Mr. Gates visit China and they have meeting about that. And later they have in New York meeting in November. And everybody right now is blaming President Trump that he didn't do nothing because he didn't know about that. That was prepared by George Soros, Mrs. Pelosi, and Mr. Gates. That is criminal investigation should be done by FBI internal, and those people should be in jail.
All right, Mark. Thank you. 800-859-0957 at 1057. Off to the roadways we go. We'll check it out with Dana Clark.
This report is sponsored by the podcast Why I'm Voting. The Why I'm Voting podcast features stories from Will Ferrell, Billie Eilish, Darius Rucker, John Legend, and more about why showing up to the ballot box means so much, not just as individuals, but for our entire nation. Listen to Why I'm Voting wherever you get your podcasts.
94 eastbound ramp to Gratiot accident is reported on that exit. That ramp is closed. Also looking at construction this weekend, 94 eastbound between Gratiot and 696 starting tonight, 8 p.m. All lanes will shut down until 5 a.m. on Monday. Now, WJR weather first from the Weather Channel. Get ready for a glorious weekend. Could see some raindrops, but not happening until Sunday. So today, lots of sunshine, a high of 87. Tonight, clear skies, low 66. Saturday, sunshine and a high of 88. On Sunday, sunny, a few afternoon clouds, and then stray shower or thunderstorm later in the evening, a high of 89. Sunshine, already 78 degrees. I'm Dana Clark, WJR News with Dick Hafner in about 2 minutes.
Hiring can be challenging.
And easy. We talked to COO Dylan Miskowitz, who needed to hire a director of coffee for his company, Cafe Altura.
We would look through lots of applications for people who were not qualified. It definitely felt like we were looking for a needle in a haystack.
So Dylan started using ZipRecruiter and found his perfect candidate in a few days.
So explain something to me, Chris, because I'm not understanding.
That's not a surprise.
Which is why you should try ZipRecruiter.
All right, I set that up for you. Okay, the difference between an absentee ballot that you mail in and a regular mail-in vote.
I believe it's the exact same thing.
Okay. That's what
I believe it's the exact same thing. I don't think there's any difference.
Because the other caller was like absentee ballot. He made it seem like it was more secure?
I'd have to look it up, but I'm pretty sure it's the exact same.
Search ZipRecruiter.com/search.
But when you hear universal mail-in ballot as opposed to absentee was a specific segment of people that couldn't get out to the polls to vote for whatever reason.
Right.
But when you expand that to then just anybody can mail in their ballot, like they're not necessarily absentee voters, they're just mailing it in.
Right. But they're still both getting mailed in. They're both getting mailed in, so they both could have issues. They both could have problems. They both could have fraud.
Yes.
I think that everybody, if they're scared enough, just go in person, make your vote.
Yeah.
I don't know how else you're gonna be able to feel secure.
Sure.
Todd says it's supposed to be absentee is required form and your signature is verified.
Right, but they're the same thing. You're not getting like a different ballot.
But aren't they both being mailed in, Jim? Is one more secure than the other? Does the absentee have less of a chance of fraud than the mail-in vote? I guess I'm not following.
Significantly, is what I understand.
It has not been curtailed by me or the leadership team.
Curtailed significantly. It's gone down. It's been limited.
I guess if you're worried, go in and head on in and vote on November 3rd.
Sure.
Make the vote. Whoever you're going to vote for.
The Washington Post reports that Postal Service changes were in the works before DeJoy was appointed.
So Todd says that. Todd, does that mean the absentee is supposed to be more secure?
Electronic devices and less through the mail. Vice President Mike Pence launched a Republican counterattack to the Democrats' convention this week. Pence defends the president's handling of the pandemic and the portrayal of America.
Not quite sure.
He says the Democrats' portrayal was bad and wrong.
It was amazing to see the Democrats this week painting such a grim picture of America, but all along the way,
It's sure going to be interesting.
It's tearing apart and claiming lives in cities around the country. And remarkably, Joe Biden last night never mentioned China.
Recorded ballot counts in 72% of Detroit's.
Everybody's saying that absentee is supposed to be more secure.
Ballots cast, according to the
I'm not sure how it's more secure than a regular one, but
Because you're supposed to, they check when you send it in, they check your signature to the one that's on file.
Okay.
So you can't just request if you live in the same house with whoever, your brother.
Okay.
Your brother can't request a ballot on your behalf, cast it, and then sign your name. I mean, hypothetically, that's not supposed to happen.
Got it.
What again you saw here was a significant number of errors.
So then I guess if you are going to vote by mail, you should vote absentee then.
I mean, yes. And in Michigan, it's all absentee, I believe. I don't think there's any other word for it.
There's not mail in.
Next week, you're going to start seeing the death rate really start to drop again. Dr. Robert
This is way too confusing. Probably more confusing than it needs to be.
Muscle to try to reopen. Ed Eichhoff, who owns 44 Planet Fitness Centers, says gyms can reopen more safely than most other businesses that are allowed to reopen by the governor.
Signature verification, voter ID.
We understand.
Patrick says nothing is secure.
We just want
I believe that.
everybody what we have
Mail in, you apply mail, get the ballot, fill it out, mail it back. No verification. Yep, Dave, bingo.
Run a lot of the retail stores you might go to, restaurants you may go to. He was on with Paul W. Smith.
Jim says you can track an absentee. Oh, really?
Meteorologist Eric Van Dam talks about tropical depression number 13.
The official track from the National Hurricane Center has this intensifying.
I guess I'll just go vote in person.
Across the Bahamas and into Southern
Take everything, take all the other stuff out of the process.
Exactly.
Mexico, something to monitor.
The Dow Industrials and the S&P 500 are up.
What day is November? November 3rd.
It's a Tuesday, isn't it?
Tuesday? Okay.
Would be a Tuesday.
I'm Jake Hafner, WJR News.
All right.
We're coming up with Chris Renwick.
How did we ever come to the belief that we have no control over the inevitability of heart attack or stroke? That it was somehow predestined in our genes?
What's a Barbara says provisional ballots are the big problem. What's a provisional ballot?
We've come to accept these two fallacies.
Oh, I'm just reading something here.
Heart attack and stroke are 100% preventable. And cardiac disease.
I don't know, Barbara, what a provisional ballot is.
It's in your profile. It's time.
This is now something else that's getting thrown in addition to the mail-in and the absentee, and now we have provisional ballots.
Free roof inspection today at KearnsBrothers.com. That's
A provisional ballot is the last second ballot?
News updates anytime at WJR.com. Join Paul W. Smith.
That's right, Maria. I thought it was always a Tuesday.
The biggest difference in the
Back in 1
it's
minute.
Opportunity Detroit, presented by Bedrock and
All right, coming back, Chris.
WJR. Dumichel's is pleased to announce their Thursday, August 20 and Friday, August 21 auctions. View nearly 900 pieces of fine art and estate items from the 19th and 20th century at auctiondetroit.com. Thursday features exceptional art from a prominent Grosse Pointe collector, and Friday features a rare collection of Marshall Frederick's bronze sculptures from the artist's family collection. Preview or consign items at Dumichel's Gallery across from the Renaissance Center. For details, visit auctiondetroit.com. Dumichel's, a Detroit tradition since 1927.
The Frank Beckmann Show, News Talk 760 WJR. Now in for Frank, here's Chris Renwick.
All right, welcome back. 800-859-0957, 800-859-0WJR, the number for you to call or text. Here's some breaking news this morning. Right now, in fact. The Michigan Court of Appeals has made their decision on Governor Gretchen Whitmer's emergency actions. That was brought upon by the Republican-controlled legislature. The Michigan Court of Appeals has upheld Governor Gretchen Whitmer's unilateral emergency actions to combat COVID-19. In a 2-1 decision today, the court agreed with the Court of Claims in finding that the 1945 Emergency Powers of the Governor Act gives Whitmer the ability to declare emergencies and take action in response without lawmakers' approval. The court also ruled that the law itself doesn't violate the separation of powers in government. The historic case is now expected to head on over to the Michigan Supreme Court. So there you go. Governor Gretchen Whitmer winning that appeal in the Court of Appeals, dealing the legislature a blow. But again, there's no doubt that that's going to the Supreme Court. 800-859-0957, 800-859-0WJR. Let's go to Gary on a cell. Good morning, Garrett.
Frank never retires. You do a pretty damn good job as a replacement.
Oh, that's very kind of you. Thank you. I hope he never retires.
Me too, but you know it's got to happen. He's getting old.
Well, that's nice, Gary. Thank you.
It happens to all of us, buddy. It happens to all of us.
No doubt. All right, what can I do for you?
You know, they got those on the back of the mail-in ballots, and they got barcodes, and it's got a D and an R.
Yeah.
That's a perfect storm for people cheating. You get a bad mailman, and he throws away every R that he sees.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never heard that, Gary, so I'd have to look into it a little bit more. I'm not sure if I would be, you mean like on the outside of like the envelope that you send it in?
Yeah, it's on the back. I've seen a video of it.
Have you ever voted absentee?
Oh no, my butt goes right there to the ballot box.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I tend to feel the same way. But no, I've never voted absentee, so I'm not sure. I'll have to do a little research on that to see if that's true or not.
Too. I listen all day long. So if you ever come up with something, then let us all know.
Yeah, I will. We'll look.
That's just asking for problems.
Yeah, I tend to believe that would not be the case. Because just for that reason. I mean, you pick up the mail and you out it goes. So no, I would be hesitant to believe that, but we'll do some research on it, Gary. See if we can find. Thank you for the call. Appreciate it. 800-859-0957. 800-859-0WJR. Let's go to Dave in Rochester. Good morning, Dave.
Hi, Chris.
Hey.
I got a question. You pulled out Rasmussen.
Yeah.
Why would you pull out Rasmussen's when clearly it's unreliable? Many polls, recent polls, are available. You got the averages readily available to everybody. And all you got to do is take a look at the approval question you brought up. There's 11 polling agencies. They're behind 8 to 20, all but Rasmussen. Got a
all right. So Dave, I look at a number of polls, right? So like earlier this week, CNN released a poll, and they said that 50% of people support Biden, 46% of people support Trump. I mean, that's pretty close to what Rasmussen is saying. It's not. You're
two different polls. One's
of course,
and one's a margin.
These are two different polls.
Yeah, the approval poll you quoted was the approval poll.
Right.
1 to 47.
So are you saying you don't trust Rasmussen?
No. In fact, just take a look at 2018 congressional races, the generic vote. They posted this stuff is always readily available. Just go to RCP 538 270 to win. Go 2018 actual result. Their last poll, everyone was saying the Democrats would win by 8.5% point. It was all clustered right around that margin. Rasmussen comes out with their final poll saying they're going to win. They lost by 9 million polls. You couldn't be more wrong than that if you tried.
Okay, well, I'm not saying. I'm not calling this a Bible. I'm just giving you some information, right? Like here's the problem with this new CNN poll that they released earlier this week, right? So they call it the poll of polls. And do you know what's wrong with this poll of polls? Is they take 6 different polls and average them together. I mean, you want to talk about skewed information? It's not even comparable.
No. Thank you. That's exactly what they should be doing. It's the same thing as them saying we're doing nothing more than averaging, like all the political websites do. They take all the polls and average them. That's what CNN did.
All right. Well, fair enough. I mean, look, I'm just giving you some information. I don't think none of this is crazy. It's not like Rasmussen is favoring Trump by 15%. I mean, these are the two very comparable numbers from two different polls. Dave, I appreciate the call. Thank you. 800-859-0957, 800-859-0WJR. Let's go to Ron in Lake Orion. Good morning, Ron.
Hey, how you doing, Chris?
Hey, what's up?
Well, I just wanted to let you know that I've lived at the same address for like 16 years.
Mm-hmm.
I got an absentee ballot application from someone who's never lived here, because I'm the first person that lived at this address.
Okay.
I sent an email to the governor, to our senators, both senators, to Elizabeth Slotkin, to the Secretary of State, to the Attorney General with the title Absentee Voter Fraud. Why did I get this absentee ballot application? Somebody who never lived here. Can I use this to vote, right?
Mm-hmm.
And guess how many responses I got from all those people?
Oh, I'm sure they all responded to you. They're all good public servants.
Yeah, I got 0 responses. They don't care about absentee ballot fraud.
So you never heard back from anybody?
No.
Nobody in the Secretary of State's office? Nobody? Interesting. All right, Ron. Well, I would maybe also go to your local clerk. I would maybe start there also and throw the line out there and ask them what's going on. 800-859-0957, 800-859-0WJR. Chris Renwick in for Frank Beckmann here this Friday morning. And at 11:13, we'll take a trip out to the roadways, checking things out there with Dana Clark.
This report is sponsored by the podcast The Piketon Massacre.
They had snuck in the night and committed these murders.
8 people dead, all from the same family.
We couldn't believe something like that would happen here.
Listen to The Piketon Massacre wherever you get your podcasts.
Earlier accident that had the exit ramp of 94 eastbound at Gratiot closed. That ramp has reopened. That accident is clear. Seeing a new delay because of a crash along 696 westbound west of Orchard Lake Road. The right shoulder is blocked. Now, WJR weather first from the Weather Channel.
Been in the good stuff, and it continues as we head through today. Gorgeous sunshine out there, 86 the daytime high. Another very pleasant morning. Tonight, clear 63. Outlying areas will be a little cooler naturally. Saturday and Sunday, plenty of sun into the upper 80s. Maybe a thunderstorm around by Monday. From the Weather Channel, meteorologist Ray Stage out News Talk 760 WJR.
Here's some other breaking news. The Detroit Lions have announced that there will be no fans at Ford Field for the first 2 games of the season.
I was just going to tell you that.
And we'll get into more of that coming up. But that's some breaking news here this morning.
And the rest of that tweet, the Broncos also are not allowing fans in their first game, which is the second Monday night game on the season.
Hey, Dave, guess what?
Yeah.
Nobody cares about the Broncos.
Some people do.
No. Nobody cares.
Some people around the listening audience probably do.
Nobody cares.
Just to be fair, and balanced for the full tweet that Schefter put out. So.
Okay. What about Arizona?
It wasn't mentioned.
Oh, I see.
But I think that Kansas City in the first game of the NFL season is allowing some fans in. If I'm not mistaken.
So specifically, the quote from team president Rod Wood was that they've spent time and resources basically outfitting Ford Field for this to be able to host fans in a time like this. And they will be ready once state guidelines allows them. So I believe right now the law, well, the executive order.
Yeah, right. The executive order from the governor
is that there's only allowed 10 people inside a building. Is that right? I mean, which obviously doesn't include like grocery stores or any sort of store.
Right,
There's more than 10 people there.
Right.
But anyway, yeah. See, Patrick says nobody cared, Dave.
Right, but
see?
Todd said, yes, I have gone to Old Mile High Stadium, and
that doesn't mean he cares about whether or not the Broncos will be able to host fans.
I'm just saying.
Patrick,
I don't know. Patrick's no longer my friend. Okay, he's going away. All right.
Patrick never really liked you, Dave. Let's be honest.
Okay, well, that's probably true. But yeah, I don't know. We're gonna have to. Todd says
It's gonna be a strange year.
It will be a strange year.
No comment. Ha ha. See, Dave?
Yeah.
See that?
Oh, yeah.
You know, I think that maybe if we can get further enough into the season, maybe they will start to allow some fans. Maybe after the halfway point, we'll see.
Yeah, eventually, I think they'll be able to allow fans.
Yeah, I don't know how many.
When that is, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. But they could just pump in the music they do and just put in the cardboard, or they just the digital effects, just like
you like the cardboard thing. I think it's interesting. I don't love it.
Okay, you know what I do think is cool? The NBA actually has real people that are watching like on Zoom on their computer. That's cool.
Yes, I agree. I think that is cool.
Yeah, I do agree with that. I think that's cool. I like the pumped in music is kind of cool.
Yeah.
So, for baseball. So
right.
Oh, there. Look at that. Look at this.
Dave won me over yesterday, but I'm just being honest. Yeah, exactly.
All right.
So so yesterday he was a fan of you, and now
it's gone.
He holds it's just straight up contempt for you.
I don't know. It's gone. It's over. Well, hey, this is the last day that I'll be on with you. So okay, there you go.
Yep.
That's very heartfelt speech.
Okay.
Who's all there today? Richard's there today.
Richard's here. Michael just came in. Now he's gone again.
Oh, good.
Are we coming back here, Rich?
Yeah.
All right.
800-859-0957. 800-859-0WJR, the number for you to call or text. Let's go to Walt in Sterling Heights. Good morning, Walt. Walt there? All right, no Walt. Let's go to Bob in Nevada, Ohio. Good morning, Bob.
Morning, Chris. Thanks
Hey.
for taking my call.
You got it.
A big concern I have about the mail-in voting.
Mhm.
I'm not talking about the absentee. Absentee votes are vetted. The mail-in will not be vetted. And we get 30 million illegal people here, and those people are going to receive those in the mail as well. Nothing to prevent them from filling that out and sending it back in. That's an illegal vote.
Well, and then another thing that we have to keep in mind is and it's obviously not happening now, but we need to clean these voter rolls a bit. I mean, one of our last callers who just called in and said, I think it was Ron, who said, "Look, I'm the only person who's ever lived at my house, and I got some ballot from somebody who's never lived here."
Yeah, but when he takes that back, what he may not know is when he takes that absentee back, he has to show proof of ID. On the mail-in.
Exactly.
When the mail-in, they're going to go out to residents or addresses. They don't care who lives there. If it's Mickey Mouse, Mouse, they can sign Mickey Mouse and send that in and vote for whoever they want. There's nothing to prevent that. And I can't see why people don't see the widespread voting fraud that's going to happen.
So on a scale of 1 to 10, how worried are you about this? Yeah. Yeah. Well,
it's just insane.
Yeah. All right, Bob, I appreciate the call. Thank you. 800-859-0957. Let's go to Whitmore Lake and Sid. Good morning, Sid.
Talked to one of my customers who's a postman,
Mm-hmm.
and he delivers to a mobile home park, and he who lives in each house, and he tells me that some of the lots are vacant, and they send out like 4 to 6 ballots. Some of the people haven't lived there for years, and he sends them back and says they're not deliverable. But how many different postmen are doing something different?
Well, they're obviously being sent there from somewhere. I mean, I don't think it's the letter carrier's fault. He's just delivering the mail.
The letter carrier's fault. How many letter carriers are not going to, say, well, heck, I can have my friends send all these in and get, people voting that really aren't even eligible.
Well, look, I hope that's not the case. I do. I hope it's not the case. And again, look, here's the thing. And I'm going to go back to this story in the Detroit News today about the 72% of the absentee ballots in the city of Detroit that were counted off. Again, I'm not even necessarily saying that this is happening on purpose. I'm not necessarily saying that it's happening, maliciously, but it is happening. And that's part of this that I'm uneasy with. Right. So even if Sid, let's say you mail your ballot in and it doesn't get counted, whether you vote for Donald Trump, Joe Biden, or, it doesn't matter who, the issue is that you could not have your vote counted. And I think that's wrong.
Right. I hand deliver mine because I know how the post office has been recently. We recently got married. We sent our invitations out before the COVID hit, and plenty of time to get responses. And some of the people didn't get the responses until like a week before the wedding.
Mm-hmm.
It was just really bad service.
Yeah, I hear you, Sid. Hey, thank you. Appreciate it. 800-859-0957. And look, a lot of that is because, everybody and their brother are ordering things online, getting things shipped to their house. I mean, the USPS, FedEx, anybody. They're all in that same boat where everything's kind of backlogged a little bit. 800-859-0957. Let's go to Jack and Roscommon. Good morning, Jack.
Hi, how are you?
Hey.
Yeah, I was calling in. You were talking about the primary election where the counts didn't go correctly.
Yes.
In Wayne County.
Yeah, in Detroit.
Well, in the 2016 election, that Jill Stein ran as a third party.
Correct.
And she requested a recount, so they started it. And they got into it, but then she withdrew it, so they stopped. but the reports from that recount was in Wayne County, or especially Detroit, when they took out the lot sealed ballot boxes, however they stormed, the reported number of votes did not match the actual number of ballots.
Yes.
And they said that was like 60% of them had bad numbers, and nobody ever investigated it.
Yes. So it happened in 2016. It happened in 2018. And now it happened in 2020 on August 4th for the primary. And I'm not
done anything.
Yeah. And Jack, I appreciate the call. Thank you. I'm just not really convinced that it's going to go without a hitch in November. Just not. Real quick to Ken in Commerce Township. Good morning, Ken.
Hey, good morning there, Chris. I want to talk to you about the polling. Scott Rasmussen himself admitted, and he told this to Sean Hannity last week, his polling is always underrepresented with Republicans because, and this is a fact, Republicans do not like to talk to a voice on the phone. And I can tell you that personally.
Yes.
I am both a door knocker and I make a lot of phone calls. Last year, on behalf of one particular candidate who was running, Jim Runstead, who was running for state senate, I made 1,007 phone calls.
Mm-hmm.
Out of 1,007 phone calls, I only got 58 opinions. And this was supposedly from a list that was from mostly Republican, and we want to find out, make sure that they're going to get out the vote, Well, 1,007 calls, 58 opinions. Most of the people that I talk to and that I know will not answer a voice on the phone. No matter what the poll is, what it's about, they hang up.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I found out during this poll. As soon as I tell them what I'm calling about, what I'm for, bam, they slam down the door. They slam down the phone, I should say. So Rasmussen himself admits it, that his polling is the best polling results because they look at probable and likely voters, but he himself admits Republicans do not like to talk on the phone. But they will talk to you if you show up at the door. They will talk to a live person at the door, but they will not do it on the phone.
So that's interesting. Did you expect those kind of numbers when you were making calls like that?
I wasn't sure what I was going to get.
Well, let me ask you this then too. How long of those 50-some people that you got, how many of them, what was your average time on the phone with them?
Well, as soon as you introduce yourself and what you were talking about.
Yeah.
If I was getting a voicemail, I would give them a very short pitch of about 30 seconds or so. That would be left on the voicemail. But as soon as I introduce myself, hi, my name is Ken. I'm calling on behalf of Jim Runstead, would like to be your next state senator. Bam. They hang up right away.
Interesting. All right, Ken. Well, hey, thank you for the call. Appreciate it. Interesting insights. 800-859-0957 at 1127. Out to the roadways we go with our Dana Clark.
This report is sponsored by the podcast Why I'm Voting. The Why I'm Voting podcast features stories from Will Ferrell, Billie Eilish, Darius Rucker, John Legend, and more about why showing up to the ballot box means so much, not just as individuals, but for our entire nation. Listen to Why I'm Voting wherever you get your podcasts.
Focusing on 696, a westbound west of Orchard Lake Road. Accident is blocking that right side. Also, construction on ramp 696 westbound at Bermuda Mohawk. That ramp is closed for construction today until 3. Now, WJR weather first from the Weather Channel. Expecting a great weekend ahead, and it's going to get a little sunshine today.
Where'd Dave go?
Where did Dave go?
Oh, hold on. He's got this muted. Hello?
Hi.
There you are.
Good morning. How are you, Michael?
Good. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
There we go. Yeah, Dave quit. He said he's had enough.
That's not surprising.
You know, he made it to 11:30 on Friday. So
people were not really happy with him today.
Why? What happened?
Well, he's talking about the Denver Broncos like anybody cares.
Oh, jeez.
I know.
Maybe he thinks the D stands for the Detroit Broncos. I'll bring that to his attention.
Yeah, he's confused a lot.
Yeah.
But, I don't know what you do about that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he made a mess of this computer when I sat down. I had to fix it.
Yeah, it's not surprising, unfortunately.
Hey, Dave, did you know that the D Broncos stand for Denver, not Detroit Broncos?
Serious question.
He knew that already.
Oh, he did?
Yeah. I don't know the full story, but
okay.
I just come in here talking trash.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. So what else is going on, Mike? How are you?
Good. Are you pooped after an exciting yet long week?
Oh no, this is I could do another 10 shows today.
Is your lawnscape guy back from vacation?
He's not. He won't be back until I think next week.
Wow.
So
you know what I love about this time of year? On top of the fact that my lawn is trash, that if when we get to sort of the dry season, I can cut my lawn every 3 weeks. So that's very nice.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. I mean, like it's just tough. I mean, we haven't had very much rain at all. And it was pretty hot for several months. But my lawn is like okay, like it's good.
Right.
Like, it's all right.
Right. I set up the fire pit a couple weeks ago. And when I moved the fire pit, all the grass underneath was dead. So if I could just do that for my entire lawn, I won't have to cut it ever.
Yeah, see, I don't know if you can see it here. Let's see. So like my patio.
Get out of the way.
You can't see it. But like in my back here, I've got like my lawn or my like table and chairs and stuff out there. And then over on the other side, I've got my fire pit. So it's like all in the same little like living area.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have what decent people call a patio.
Decent people?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't have a patio. I just put it on my grass next to the car that's on blocks, not tires,
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah, that's good.
There's a suggestion. Rich, Patrick is suggesting that we send you over to cut Chris's grass. He'll do it for what's your going rate, Richard? He'll do it for $1,500.
That is out of my budget, unfortunately.
A little out of his budget, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe there'll be a discount if Rich can ride the riding lawnmower behind you during the show.
Oh, yeah, that would be good.
$999. He'll knock it down to $1,499.
What if we also wear the share mask?
What if you also wear the share mask?
$1,400.
He'd knock it down to $1,400. At that price, you can't afford not to pay him to do it.
Right. At that point, I have to do it.
Yeah. You're not gonna. There's not a Groupon out there for that.
No, that's true.
Yeah. So how mad are people about Dave's love for the Broncos? Anne Marie D seems to be pro Dave.
Yeah. Yeah. She's Team Dave. # Team Dave.
Yeah. Okay. That's. I mean, overall, I'm Team Dave.
Well, pump the brakes on that.
Dave and I have been friends for a very long time. I like how he's just looking over my shoulder. If he had a knife, he would probably stab me right now.
Yeah, you know what I know about Dave is he asks a lot of questions.
Well, that's how you learn.
But he asks a lot of questions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, here's what I say. If you don't ask stupid questions, you'll just remain stupid.
That could be true.
Yeah. Wow, Rich, you cutting Chris's grass is like picking up steam. Speedo and a share mask. Look, I understand Rich has beautiful biceps, but he's not a piece of meat.
I think it's trending on Twitter now.
Wow. Maria Gratham, can we watch Rich cut the grass? Wow. Is this a thing? Is this a thing on the internet where people like watching dudes cut grass? Is that ASMR?
Look at Maria, why is Dave still here?
Because he's producing the show. The question is, why am I still here? I serve no function other than I just pop up for. Yeah.
That was funny. I liked that.
Maria, are you the one who said Rich is easy on the eyes?
I think yes.
Yeah. I like I I always felt that Rich was underrated as a sex symbol. It's about time.
Oh, maybe it wasn't Maria. She's confused.
Yeah, sorry, Maria.
Yeah.
That's slander. Well, I wasn't slander. It was an honest mistake.
How is Trudy?
She hates me a little more every day. For the past, 2 weeks, she'll go into her crate on her own. And then if I try to shut the door, she'll, charge at me.
Oh, this is Mike's dog, not a daughter. Like, he doesn't keep his, anything like that. I just want to clarify.
Right. It's our 1-year-old Havanese. It's not. I'm not putting a child named Trudy in a crate. Yeah. Oh, okay. It was Maria who said.
Oh, it was Maria. Okay. All right. Good.
Okay, I feel better.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, so I put her in her crate twice a day. Once when I leave for work, and then when it's time to go to sleep. And she's wearing me down. I'm thinking of just taking the door off the crate and saying, "Have at it."
Right.
Do
what you will.
When your own dog starts hating you, it gets to be very psychologically taxing.
Well, and dog. So it's like she's 7 at this point.
Right.
So she's getting into those years where she's going to rebel.
Right. Obviously you have until Jake is 16 before he starts hating you. But I'm just a new dog parent. So
although he already likes my wife better.
Yeah. Well,
which is not a surprise.
She's probably much nicer.
Yes. Oh God, yes.
Yeah. Okay, Chris, have the good rest of the show. Thanks to you and Dave for letting me do cameos.
Yep, you got it. We'll pay you later.
760 WJR. Now in for Frank. Here's Chris Renwick.
800-859-0957. 800-859-0WJR. The number for you to call or text. Let's go out to John in Chesterfield. Good morning, John.
Good morning. Yeah, I happen to be a mailman in the city of Warren. Okay, now when the ballot applications for the ballots went out, and the people that weren't living there remarking UTF, they're put into a special tub and they're taken back to the city clerk. So there you can start cleaning up the voter rolls on the absentee ballots. I mean, on the ones that Jocelyn Benson mailed out.
Right.
Now the absentee ballots, they're also, when you bring them back, they're also sent into another tub that goes directly to the city clerk. They do not go into the regular mail-in. So if you want to rig an election, this is the way to do it.
Are you worried about that?
Of course. I'm a mailman. I am worried about it. I see what's going on.
We've had a lot of suggestions that the actual, letter carriers themselves are to be worried about too, and whether or not they would be able to take ballots away and toss them or whatever. Is that a worry of yours?
No, we just deliver the mail and we pick it up. Okay. And the ballots, we have to handle them separately. If they're unable to forward, they go into a special tub and they get sent back to the city clerk's office so they can clean up their voter rolls. The other ballots that come in, they go to the same tub and they go right back to the city clerk. And the problem we have is what this is, they cannot start counting the absentee ballots until the election day.
Right.
It's a problem.
Huh. Interesting.
And I go, Joseph Stalin, former leader of Russia. He said, doesn't matter who votes. It only matters who counts the votes. Can we have a public vote counting like they did with the Chads in Florida?
Yeah. Interesting. All right, John. Hey, thank you for the thoughts. Appreciate it. Yeah. 800-859-0957. Let's go to Janice in White Lake. Good morning, Janice.
Good morning. How are you today?
I'm terrific. How are you?
Good.
Good.
I'd like to say what's in the Detroit News is not 100% all that happened down there. There were other things that happened. How about at 2 o'clock in the morning, the people that are heading up the election counting just tells them to open the envelopes. You don't have to check them with the book. Just get them out of the envelope and put them in stacks, and we're going to be done. How can you push people to 5 o'clock in the morning to continue checking ballots? To me, it's just absolutely almost immoral that you expect people to handle that amount of votes. And guess what? There's going to be more in November. And these people some of them are older than me that are there.
Yeah, and I know that Janice Winfrey, the Detroit city clerk, talked about something like that, and I'm trying to find it in the story, and I'm having a trouble locating it, but I'll paraphrase. Basically, saying that it's really hard, and mistakes are going to happen when you basically push people to work 20 hours a day.
Yep.
And you're asking them to, it can be a tedious process to be counting these votes. Here, I got it here. Winfrey says the vast majority of the absentee voting precincts in the city were less than 3 ballots off, plus or minus. Being off by 3 or fewer is allowed, Winfrey said, but it's unclear what policy she's referring to. Similar things have happened in every election, she added, and they're the result of a labor-intensive process and people making mistakes after working 20 hours a day. This is from the Detroit News Story and Craig Monger. So, yeah, I mean, I think that you're onto something there.
But I think that part of it is, why did they put that many precincts in one building? Out here, many times there's maybe 3 precincts together that come to a station. Why? The number of problems. How about just getting the ballots from where they come from to, we saw cartloads of ballots coming in all at one time. From where in the city of Detroit were they coming from?
Right.
How long did it take them to get there? It is just mass number of ballots, and the room is filled with people that I don't see how, we didn't see how they were going to be able to get this all done, which now I told you what happened at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
So the other thing is, people are talking about this law that went into place on same-day registration to vote. Well, this is different than that, because when you have same-day registration to vote, you come to the poll booth, you have to have ID to be able to get that ballot.
Right.
And I have to sign for that. In this ballot's going out, there's no signatures or anybody knows who's got that ballot. It is wrong what they're doing. Have them come to the clerk's office and pick them up. It's the same thing. And if you don't put them in the mail, drop them off at the clerk's office. Do not put all this stuff in the mail.
Yeah. All right, Janice. Hey, good thoughts. Thank you. Appreciate the call. 800-859-0957. I got about a minute left here before the break. Let's go to George in Detroit. Good morning, George. George. All right, George isn't there. I'll tell you what. We'll take we'll get ready here for a break. I do have something I want to share with you though on COVID. And this is from, I believe it's from just a couple days ago. Apparently, a group of scientists say COVID-19 first maybe appeared in a group of Chinese miners back in 2012. I'll give you that story coming up next after we check in with Dana Clark and get an update on our traffic here at 11:42.
Accident along 696 westbound west of Orchard Lake. It is blocking that right shoulder. The on-ramp is closed today along 696 westbound at Bermuda Mohawk. That will be shut down until 3 p.m. Now, WJR weather first from the Weather Channel, sponsored by Gordon Chevrolet. Gordon Chevrolet, where you not only pick your payment, but now pick your program. Need to pull ahead your lease? Do you need GM employee pricing or a low payment with 0 interest? Let Gordon Chevrolet help you find it on Ford Road, just west of Merriman in Garden City. GordonChevrolet.com. Gordon Chevrolet, find new roads.
It's been a nice dry week. High pressure hangs on. A couple of more days through the weekend. Dry weather expected. Warming trend. Clear, comfortable morning, sunny afternoon. Still comfortable at 86. Tonight, clear 63. Outlying areas a little cooler. And lots of sun and upper 80s over the weekend. Maybe some wet weather by Monday. From a Weather Channel, meteorologist Ray Stajic on News Talk 760 WJR.
Michigan Economic
is committed to helping businesses in our state during the COVID-19.
George literally hung up 1 second before you went to him.
Oh, bummer.
Programs and resources available to you now. These include small business support, access to capital, entrepreneur resources, and buyer and supplier.
One of the things that Rich and I were talking about before the show started today with Brian was Favorite TV theme song. Favorite TV theme song.
Favorite TV theme song.
Favorite
I mean,
TV theme song.
Huh. So I've got two.
Okay.
That I really like.
All right.
And it's one of them is just music.
Okay.
And it's The Office.
Okay, The Office is good. I like that.
Love
one.
The Office theme song.
That's good. Okay.
But I also really like Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Oh, that is a really good one.
I mean, that's kind of like,
you know, they're remaking The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, but it's going to be a drama.
What?
Yeah. No, it's not going to be a comedy. It's going to be a drama.
oh, well, that's a bummer.
Yeah. Mine is The Greatest American Hero.
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah, that's a good one.
Patrick says Out of This World.
What did Rich say?
That's it. His is probably Golden Girls.
Oh, Golden Girls. Yeah, that's good.
Route 66 from the 50s.
Uh-huh.
Dragnet.
Yeah.
Yep. What was yours, Rich? Golden Girls? Is that your favorite one?
I like that. Dallas is
Rich like
Dallas. Yeah, Dallas.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a good one too. Monsters.
Monsters. Yeah.
Love the month.
Yep.
Yep.
This one was also good.
Get Smart.
Get Smart was good. You hear Rich in the background?
Yes.
Remember?
Yes.
Yep.
Very good. Oh, Todd's got a good one.
Oh, my CSI Miami.
Wait a minute. Patrick has sung The Greatest American Hero at karaoke.
Oh, that's good.
Wow. I only have two songs that I'll sing karaoke to. Only two.
Okay.
You'll have to guess what they are.
These Hips Don't Lie by Shakira.
That is not one of them.
And These Boots Were Made for Walking.
No. Not even close.
Tell Rich what I just said. He has to know.
Rich said, Chris said that the two songs that he thought I would karaoke to were The Hips Don't Lie by Shakira and These Boots Were Made for Walking, which is totally wrong. Rich said that too.
And also, I like big butts and I cannot lie.
Yep, that could be it.
No, Todd, that's not it either. No, Adam's Family is a good one too.
ZipRecruiter.com/trial. Treetops Resort, Palmer, Nicholas, Trevino, and Mickelson. It's time to add your name to the greats who have played
Friends in Low Places. Is that that's the Garth Brooks song, right? No.
per person. Visit treetops.com. That's treetops.com.
We coming back here, Rich?
About a minute and a half.
Okay.
Save big with zero interest financing or rebates up to $82.50. From the luxurious Ford Expedition, the legendary Ford Bronco, to the all-new
Friends in Low Places. Is that it, Dave?
It's not. No.
Is it Gangster's Paradise?
No,
like
but
Coolio?
I like that song.
Yeah.
The only two that I do karaoke.
1 minute.
Home Sweet Home, Motley Crue.
Mm-hmm.
We Didn't Start the Fire, Billy Joel.
Okay. Wow.
Those are the two that I'll do. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Two, I would have never guessed either of those.
Yeah.
For sure, Motley Crue.
Yeah.
Do you sing Girls, Girls, Girls too?
No, I said those are the only two that I sing karaoke to.
Huh. Interesting. I would like to hear you sing karaoke.
Yes.
30 seconds.
It's fun.
Yeah.
All right. Coming back.
Okay.
At the Disc Institute, we have a proven solution to solve both of your problems, your pain and the bad disc that's causing it, with our high-tech, non-invasive treatments. This is what can stop your pain without surgery. We'll even review your MRI for no charge. Call our new Farmington location at 248-940-DISC. That's 248-940-3472.
The Frank Beckmann Show, News Talk 760 WJR. Come on, man. Now, in for Frank, here's Chris Renwick.
So apparently, maybe the coronavirus didn't start in the Wuhan wet market like many have thought. But maybe it started 1,000 miles away from Wuhan. Back in 2012, 8 years ago, in a Chinese mine shaft where workers allegedly came down with a mysterious pneumonia-like illness after being exposed to bats. Virologist Jonathan Latham and molecular biologist Allison Wilson, both of the nonprofit Bioscience Research Project in Ithaca, New York, arrived at their finding after translating a 66-page master thesis from a Chinese medical doctor who treated the miners and sent their tissue samples to the Wuhan Institute of Virology for testing. The evidence it contains has led us to reconsider everything we thought we knew about the origins of the COVID-19 pandemic. Latham told the New York Post that the coronavirus almost certainly escaped from the Wuhan lab. Back in April of 2012, 6 miners in a southwestern Chinese province fell ill after spending more than 14 days removing bat feces. 3 people eventually died. In this thesis, the doctor who treated the miners describes how the patients had a high fever, a dry cough, sore limbs, and in some cases, headaches, all symptoms now associated with COVID-19. How the miners were treated, for example, with ventilation and a variety of drugs, including steroids, blood thinners, and antibiotics, also resembles how COVID-19 patients are being treated worldwide. After conducting multiple tests for hepatitis, dengue fever, and even HIV, the doctor consulted with various specialists throughout China, including a virologist, an international hero who managed the SARS outbreak back in 2013 and is considered one of the country's great scientific minds. The remote meeting, it implies that the illness of the 6 miners were of high concern, and second, that a SARS-like coronavirus were considered a likely cause. The doctor sent sample tissues from the miners to the Wuhan lab, a focal point of coronavirus research in China. There, scientists found the source of infection was a SARS-like coronavirus from a Chinese horseshoe bat. Latham and Wilson believe the virus, once inside the miners, evolved into SARS-CoV-2, an unusual coronavirus highly adapted to humans. And the sample somehow escaped from the lab last year, launching what has morphed into a coronavirus pandemic. I find that to be very interesting and curious as to why we haven't heard much about this. Wondering why that is. Haven't been able to come up with a good reason why yet. So, that's there for you too. 800-859-0957. 800-859-0WJR. Let's go to CC in Hell, Michigan. Good morning, CC.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good.
Good.
So at the beginning of the week, I remember you talked, you were asking what they were going to try and come up with for the main theme. And I thought it was going to be corruption. And then I think what I finally got from it was, so first of all, I'm a registered Democrat.
Okay.
And you're talking about people having their mind changed after watching this. And what I kept getting was he's not worthy. He stole the election. He doesn't put in the work. He doesn't care about anybody but himself. And I have seen so many things to the contrary, and I could not believe the amount of lies coming out of everybody speaking. We're not even seeing everything. There's all these people on during the day that are saying much worse things about what they want to do and create socialism in the country. But when President Obama looked at the camera and said, and he sent the troops in to rein in the, I'm paraphrasing, but the peaceful protesters.
Yes.
That just killed me after all of the police that have been maimed and killed and innocent people. I've seen video of people just being kicked and knocked down and people pulled out of cars.
Yes.
And that, so about making your mind up after this, I was waiting for the vice president. I could not stand Kamala Harris back when I was watching the Democratic debate. I said, this woman is really nasty, and she kept making it all about her. And so that was the first strike. And then after this convention, I'm like, I'm done. I'm done with these people. And that what they are doing, I think, are pushing more people over to see the truth about what is going on and what kind of choice you want to make. They're right. We're in a fight for the soul of this country. And if those people get in the soul of this country, that's when it's going to go dark.
So, Cece, I mean, and look, feel free not to answer, but are you planning on sitting this election out? Are you planning on voting for Donald Trump? What are you thinking?
We heard somebody on your station talk about the MAGA cruise, and we went to the MAGA cruise. My kid is walking around saying, "Come on, man," because you kept playing that. And
man. Well, I'm sorry for that.
No, not at all. We love it. We are waiting. I just heard on your station that the president is coming to Michigan, and we can't wait to go to that.
Wow.
So no, I am all about supporting. I'm seeing how hard this man is working for all of us. And I also wanted to share, a friend of mine told me there was a meme going around after he lost his brother saying that the wrong Trump died.
Yes.
And that is an example of the vitriol and the hatred they have for this person, just as a man. And even when I was back on the other side, I voted for Clinton. I voted for Obama twice. When he won, and I kept hearing people being so nasty, I said, look, we lost. There has to be a certain amount of respect for the office, whether you like him as a person or not. And the way that these reporters talk to him and ask him questions like, how does it feel to be lying to the American people for the past 3.5 years, or to be responsible for the deaths of over 150,000 people? Like, who are these people? Why do they think that's okay to talk to him like that?
Well, not only that, but the thing that I find most egregious is the blatant disregard for the American public's intelligence. I mean, look, like when Michelle Obama got up there and spoke, I thought really well. I mean, I thought she did a tremendous job. But when she says like, oh, Donald Trump is putting kids in cages at the border, and she just glosses right over it. And it's like, well, no, it was your husband who actually built those cages back in 2014. And so like, that's the part where like, I understand the politics of it, and that's always been around and it will always be around. But it's the disregard for people's IQ or something. Like, I don't understand why that has to be the one of the things you have to say and not explain it or there's I mean, like, there's none of that going on. That's the part that I find most egregious.
We're going to say this from ourselves.
Yeah.
Because we're too dumb to figure out what's going on. And I think more and more, I can't tell you how many people, I'm a person of color. I am not a supporter of Black Lives Matter. I found out about that scam. The money is going to Act Blue, which is an arm of the Democratic Party. And all these people that were the candidates, I don't know if you saw the little Zoom call where they were all laughing and telling.
Oh, it was, it's like the Hollywood Squares here. That was, I didn't expect that to come by.
I know. We're so happy. And also I was filled with joy on the day that I decided, Amy Klobuchar, I'm like, real people, you guys are all promised some type of cabinet position, and that's why you're doing this.
Bingo, bingo. CC the winner. All right, CC, thank you very much. Appreciate the call.
Thank you. Have a great one.
Yep, you too. All right, that's going to do it for the week. Frank will be back next week on our Pure Michigan Golf Tour, so hang with us for that. All right, have yourself a great weekend. 11:57, out to the roadways we go with Dana Clark.
This report is sponsored by the podcast.
All right, folks, have a great weekend. David, we'll talk to you. Everybody, have a good one.
Take care.
Enjoy it. It's going to be hot. Stay cool, but also enjoy it because we're probably not getting we're not getting much of this weather left. So, all right, everybody, have a good weekend. See you.